Vaseline like my Nina puff a bar. Took a sock, watch the dart. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harper Free. Try to hope it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I'm making hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that business like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, the whole part. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the fart. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even lower or this lower, told that bitches either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our court. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the count and with the speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and outdone. You can't do with them steppers. Niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I read that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole part. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, told that bitches either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our car. And I just made the call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
Buckroll.
This shit gon' ride. My whole time. You'll never see another nigga like this. Used to have that white bitch popping on the night shift. Now I'm one westward sharper than an ice pick. On you rappers' necks and it's feeling like some vice grips. Yeah, that's light shit. Send my bro a kite quick. Ties of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see. Most of them scared to witness. Go on, close your eyes. There's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll probably grip like some dentures. Brothers on them fences. 23 and 1 out. Praying at that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury. I got 2 jits. If I can't make it do for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. There's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Gun on my waist, sipping white Hemi. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know lie. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the squad in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know lie. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in this world in my whole life, It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, it got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Sani, my wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home and change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. So I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that guy flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Tahoe Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Lighters in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed y'all can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. It can't. The streets need another anthem. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know life. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the squab in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know life. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the squab in my whole life. My whole life.
From Westworld. From Westworld. Let's get it. Don't be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make more. Clips say it hold 20, but I think it could take more. Grab a stick, fire on your camp, we gon' make s'mores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. No matter how many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. This path I'm on is so damn narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit, bitch, I'm straightforward. Don't give a fuck if they don't let me in, I just break doors. Ballin' so hard, they asking what team that I play for. Skimmer who? They ain't stopped making guns when they made yours. Sick with it, feeling like I woke up with stage 4. They ain't want the peace loose, but they opened up the cage for. Endure the pain, been through hard times is what I'm made for. Paid my dues, never left a wage, I just rage war. So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Still against all enemies. In high school, you was the man that's lost memory shit. Lost energy, never lost my energy. Never lose control, never losing. Dog, I plan to keep you. Lose your mind where I'm from. I ain't talking from what you see. I never lost soul. Losing times, wasting steady pacing. You off track, I'm on that. You pray to God, hoping he can save you. But the power about war, and that's a different angle. This another lost cause, and I'm just adding to the list. They not seeing me for that reason. Got a flash on the grip. Nigga, big priest. They gon' judge me by my increase. And I'ma keep stepping in these joys to the increase. Just got off the phone with Jacob, and he said it's time to shine. Certified, blue dot, put it on you, now you verified. One West world, bigger than World War III. Do not sleep, it's not cheap, and it's still top 3.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Came on boats and then chains, so when I get rich, I'ma grab a boat and 10 chains with 12 ribs from each tribe. And each rib gonna have at least 3 kids. Yeah, I'ma have the deep squad. Been rapping since knee high. Now a nigga shack size. Spit that holy fire, when you hear it, you get baptized. One West world, yeah, you niggas know the logo. And I'ma bust it down so the haters see the glow. Let's have a feast, let's shine on our enemies. Right in their face, let's blind all our enemies. Cause now we have, but we come from half not. Throw that cash on the ground, my nigga, let's cast lots. I started from the bottom, birthed out of mud, raised by gangsters, turned out a thug. I ain't give a fuck, burnt out I was, from hitting licks in and out and selling nicks in the drought.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
this is Rude Speech, man. We got Captain Tywar in the building. Yeah. So, Cap, man, let us know where you from.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man, on Rude Speech, man. Understand, I'll break it down right quick,
Don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I finish, one West when I start. Big shine. Big glow, I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back by the winter, bubbling like Crisco. I need my pockets all swollen like a lymph node. Talking out the side of your neck, get you a slit throat. I stay broke, don't care if I got $1 million. Looking down on me, I put your brains on the ceiling. Fuck kicking down the door, we bout to demo the building. Fake cats all in these groups, I wonder who ya. Shoot ya, off your pulpit, hallelujah. 4-pound gun youngin' down like it's a cougar. On my feet, combat boots, or is it Puma? Words spreading around about me, none of it rumor. All truth, very big facts. Very large caliber on very small cats. Compact pistols, ladders, and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beef, yeah, Ramak with a bin shot ya. The best rhymer since Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm Big Jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not insigner. My conglomerate wreck like King Kong. No Asian pun me, no chink in armor. Remain calm throughout pain that bring drama. Stay focused on things that bring karma. Took all pressure, applied and made diamonds. Stayed true, kept shit pure, my name honored. Paid all dues and debts and kept promise. Make sure you show respect. Pay homage that I'm one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood. Don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I said I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood. Don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I'm the hottest on the market, don't make me start it. I'ma pull up in a Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I remember days was trapping out the apartment. Now one West about put me up in a starship. About to fly the friendly skies in this bitch. Spit the truth on the corners, I lie a little bit. I'm a stand-up nigga, I die before I switch. Down, no we up, I'm cool with who I with. I'ma be war the king and stay dangerous. Hold down the biz and fam, remain blameless. Now rappers drippy with styles we made famous. First with studs and spikes in any city. Designing charge a stack for shit that can't fit me. Had fringes on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith at y'all, no Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain a $1.50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though. Cause the niggas getting fouled, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino. And the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow. Try to ride my wave, you gon' need a speedboat. I'm hot like 100 degrees in a peacoat. Scarf in the sweater, I embark every letter. It's UPK, not a part, but together. Homie, I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. One West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. That was designed fire for our babies to pass through in the day of our king's reign. I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought a brand new pair of bellows.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Bust the head.
ODing on a beat, Narcan flow. We outside. We outside with it. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in the store, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mess and we was outside. That Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. I got the world in the palm of my hand. One west sleeve stretched, do it live on the gram. Had a whole world viewing. Click and subscribe. Had them niggas off the block, tell them shooters they want a job. I just put them on the payroll. When I get control them, I just mold them like they Play-Doh. Soldiers giving Halo, trying to get up at them pesos. 40 cows send you out of space, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, leave you all boxed up. All cause my delivery. I be on that prime shit. Take you time to get with me. Got me like Vladimir. Treat you like the Ukraine. Raid your little city, now you boating like Usain. Scope costs more than the rifle. I got new aim. Fresh kick, spit with the blick. Not my shoe game. Used to have a dirty 30 tied to a shoestring. Now I got the Ruger 5 and 7. That's my boot thing. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in the store, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mess and we was outside. The Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in the store, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mess and we was outside. The Glock loaded extra mag and it's outside. There's one West for that bag and we outside. We outside. I don't talk hardly. Be there when you call me. Send them Philly clippers at your head like a baldy. Chopper get to run down your block like a Harley. No, this ain't a big hog. This the big dog.
In your city, swinging through the jungle like it's pitfall. In the water wading, marching to my cadence. Big burst of thunder in my hands like I'm reading. Shitty Mortal Kombat sounds, but I ain't playing.
Look him in the eye before the war like a weigh-in. I'm up in the AM, politicking movements with that Draco from the vid because it's proven. Waiting on my brother how to bid, he ain't do shit. That's how life go. Win some, you lose. Seen a little nigga beat a big nigga out his shoes. Seen that nigga come back, pull up with a gun strap, rob everybody outside, told him run that. We outside. That temperature's getting how we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, yeah, we outside. Before the COVID had the
Y'all watching me out, Scheinberger thumb, clap it up, let's get it on. I'll take your questions in the room. Let me get a coffee if you have it in the bag. If not, I'll take the strong, all right? The water. Then I'll take your questions in the room and online. When you're ready, let's have them. Eat from in the back. Give me two.
I have a question concerning the rank structure in Israel. If a man has a position of power, but he's of a low rank, right? How do you keep order, right, when you request assistance from other men that outrank him?
When you request assistance.
Right.
Okay, let me try to get it. So now, okay, a brother's in a department. He's low rank, I'm assuming you mean under 5,000. Right? So under 5,000, and he's requesting help in the department. Now, he has authority in the department, right? So are the other people in the department as well? So he is a lower rank than the other people in the department. Okay, so in essence, you're not requesting help. You're giving orders. You'd have to tell them, do this, do that, do this. Now, of course, because they're over you, when I say you, I mean the brother in this scenario, because they're over you, you would have to say it in a way that would indicate that they're ranked. You would have to say, Salakia, sir, but could you, run this paper off or do this website? You get my point? And so now, but when you go to do that, are you getting, this is a metaphor. I mean, this is not this brother, but any brother, correct? When you do that, are you getting pushback? Meaning, are the brothers who you go to direct, are they not following your orders? And is that the problem? All right, so if they didn't follow your orders, then you would go to the person above you, and you would say, they are not following my orders. You get my point? That's simple enough to do, right? And let me give you what might be the misunderstanding. Don't think that because of don't think that if a brother is slack, he's slack regardless of who tells him to do the order. You might think it's because of your rank, meaning, because I'm because I'm not 5,000. That's why this brother is not listening to me, even though every officer in the UPK, and if they're above the brother who's are the men higher ranking men who you're trying to in this scenario, well, then a higher ranking man absolutely knows about the UPK's operational command protocol. If you have operational command, then that supersedes rank. Supersedes it. You're in a department. This brother is over you in the department. You get my point? He's not over you in general in the school. He's over you in this department. So if you're in the department with him, then you're going to have, when he calls you and says, hey, Salakia, sir, could you, make macaroni and cheese for the High Holy Day. I'm in charge of the High Holy Day department. You're one of the brothers who volunteers to make food. Salakia, sir, would you mind making macaroni and cheese or having your wife make macaroni and cheese? He can't act like he doesn't want to listen to you because he's in the department and a high-ranking brother knows that operational command supersedes rank in a department. That's something that everyone knows. Now, let's say you're in charge of the High Holy Day department and you see that a younger brother is doing an excellent job, then it helps to raise him up. Right? Then if you raise this brother up, then it makes it simple for everyone. Now he's officer of 5,000. So now just in case it was some, some carnality that crept into some man's mind because he's over you, then now now he's over you. So now you don't have to be worried anymore because now he's over you. You didn't want to listen to him when he was under you, right? No problem. Now he's over you. And guess what? He's still not going to listen. Because men don't obey orders up because of slackness. That's it. It has nothing. A brother who's zealous about the work of the Most High God up, he's going to do it if a child tells him. He's going to do it because he doesn't do it for that reason. He does it for the love of the Most High. And so if he's in the High Holy Day department, what do you think I would do if someone called me up and said, sir, can you make macaroni and cheese? Brother, there'd be more mac and cheese in here than in all the KFCs and Golden Corrals and restaurants combined in all the world. I would be honored by it. I would say, damn, the water warrior, you need me to make it? Hey, no problem. Don't sweat it. That mac and cheese will be there because I don't do what I do simply because the person who's telling me to do it is over me, because that is a poor reason to serve God. And someone like that, before you know it, everybody is going to be over him. That's all. You just wait a little while. Before you know it, he'll have such a low rank. There'll be 100 men telling him to make mac and cheese. And guess what he's going to do? He's not going to do it. Because the reason a man doesn't do a thing up is because of his own personal failings. And it's hard to understand that when you're young. Because when you're young, you don't know that men have personal failings because you don't have any. Guess what? Stay like that. Stay like that. Don't have any personal failings. As you become an officer of 5,000 and a captain, you stay the way you always were when you were a trooper. Don't change. Some men might have changed, the Water Warriors. No, I'm drinking it and I'm in love with it. The water. Do you have any cream? Just a taste, if you could. Let me. If you're doing that, before you know it, that brother who's not participating like he should, he'll be out of the department, which also is simple to do. If someone is not performing in a department now, get rid of him. Just remove him. You'd be surprised how much things work better with subtraction. You get my point? Addition by subtraction. Imagine being in a department, and you're trying to work it, and you're full of zeal and you want to make it work, but some brother above you is slack. He's not doing it. Just say, you know what, sir, Salaki, sir, we'll get it done without you. You know, with all due respect. You get my point? We'll get it done without you throughout it. We'll be fine, and that's that. And just phase him out. Go to the brother above you and say, could we not work with this brother in this department because he does not want to listen to me? I've asked him many times. He's just not doing it. Who has time for that while you're trying to bring about the kingdom of heaven? And once again, men like that in the UPK are rare. Every once in a while, there's one or two of them in here. But before you know it, here's the real solution to the problem. He starts to get brought to council. Now, if no one brings him to council, then it's going to be hell trying to work with him, trying to stumble over him and trip over him, because he will be in the way of your progress. He'll be in the way. You have got to bring men like that to council so then they can give their reason for being slack in the department that they're voluntarily in. Is it because the brother over you in the department is under you? Is that it? What's the reason? You bring him to council. In the council, I can all but guarantee you he'll be removed if what I'm saying is found out to be true. And then you could run freely. And the Bible says, stifle not the Holy Spirit up. That's in the scriptures, man. The Holy Spirit is not supposed to be stifled. Where's Alexa? She's going. Alexa, what does stifle mean?
Hey Alexa, what does stifle mean?
As a verb, stifle is usually defined as to quell, crush, or end by force.
You hear that, warrior?
More,
Alexa, stop. To quell or crush. The Bible says, stifle not the Holy Spirit. There's a Holy Spirit in a man that comes from the Lord God. And that man wants to do the Sabbath service, wants to do the high holy days, wants to make the mac and cheese, wants to go get the truth on the internet and do classes, wants to travel to other countries. Don't crush that in a man. Don't crush that in him. Let it grow. Why do you think he wants to do these things? He certainly could be doing something else that would satisfy his carnality better than being a champion for God's word. He's doing it because he has the Holy Spirit. And a brother above you is not supposed to crush that. He is never supposed to slow you down. Never. That is not, if that's happening to a young brother in the school, I don't know it is, because I haven't heard about it in one council at all. Not one. With that said, I'll assume it is absolutely not happening, because there have been 0 councils about it. You understand? Any other questions? Please, Levi.
If I may, sir, this is since I came into the ISUBK, this is one thing that I recognize about this school, as opposed to every other place, is that the man above you push you to be great.
Yes,
push you to be, like Commanding General Yohana has said. He said everybody needs to be a star for their people.
Give him a hand. That's the fact.
Yeah,
that's this place. If you go join a church or some old Israelite group, they're going to hate your zeal because it threatens men above you. Preachers are threatened by young reverends who, who the women like in the church. If you go to church one day, if you've been to church, you know what I'm talking about. That name on the front of the church, the Honorable Dr. Reverend C.J. Tucker. Well, if there's a young reverend under him that the women start to like, that the women start to, dance and get up and do that church twerk hard, when he does his sermon, Mr. Reverend Tucker is getting rid of him. He's getting rid of him because they don't like that. They don't like that because they're small men who need to, feel big with the praise of others. In the UPK, we are very big already. Big without you. Have been big all the time. We don't need praise to validate our ego. You understand? So then what do you do then? Then you're like any father who wants his son to supersede what he has done. And that's any father. Any father looks at his boy. He doesn't want his boy to take the business and leave it where he gave it to him. He wants his son to make the business grow, to make it thrive, to make it better than the business he gave him. And that's Commanding General Yohana. And that's the righteous men above you in the school. You have zeal to do a department, get into it and do it. Do it. If a brother is above you and he's not listening, one, you go to the man above you. If the man above you recognizes it, a quick solution is to raise you up. Now you're above the slackers in that department. That won't be a solution for the slacker, but it will be a solution for you. It will make sure the Holy Spirit in you is thriving and growing because you're getting encouraged. And young men need encouragement. You understand? They need to know that they're doing the right thing. They're not doing the wrong thing because they want to run, because they want to take ground. So the brother who gets raised up, he's encouraged. Now he is a 5,000. Now he's not getting searched anymore. Now he has more rank, more authority in general, period. It won't change that slacker. It won't change him because he's a slacker. He's a sluggard. He's probably full of some old demon or something. Something is going to have me get him out of here the minute someone starts to take him to counsel. That's the other solution. If he's still being that way and he's not, listening and holding back the department, you take him to counsel, and then I can handle it. Any other questions? Come on.
So that would also apply to camp as well. Let's say, there's officers of 1,000 that are over a zone.
Yeah.
And an officer of 5,000 comes.
Yeah.
And also the officer of 1,000 would still have tactical command, but still
operational, absolutely.
Operational command, but still politely ask of the officer of 5,000, they can do certain things.
That's correct. If let's say I visit a camp in another city, I do not have operational command over that camp, which is why I sit in the camp and watch. And I just sit there. Someone else is deciding who goes up to speak. I don't decide who goes up to speak next. And brothers who have been around see this. They know that. Right? If a general comes down to your city, he isn't working out the list of speakers. He isn't organizing the guard. He's watching, observing. He's just looking. At the end of the camp, he'll go to the camp leader. Maybe he saw something that could be worked on. Some help they might need. He'll tell it to the camp leader. He's there observationally because he is not the one that has to answer for the camp. He doesn't have operational command. Now, can he take operational command in some emergency? Absolutely. Anyone could do that. If you see, a sodomite get up on the microphone at the camp and in a skirt, then the general could say, I was here just to observe. But now I have to step in, come down, get out of here. If there's an emergency, the higher rank, that's what the higher rank is for. The higher rank is to who does not have operational command. He can supersede if he's there, but he has to answer for that in the council. He's going to have to answer for why he interfered. Why did he take operational command over this camp? Because in doing so, you absolutely could curtail the Holy Spirit. You don't have to answer for that camp. That's not your responsibility. It was at one time. It's not anymore. It's this other brother's responsibility. Let him handle his job. You handle yours. Right? You have a new job that you're doing. That is not your job anymore to take out a camp or to be second in command or a camp leader. That's his. Let him do it. Don't crush the Holy Spirit everywhere you go, because before you know it, you'll be in council and then you will get crushed. Does everyone get it? Any other questions? Come on. Sorry, go ahead. Coffee is excellent, Levi. Good job. This must be just headquarters coffee. It must be good, regardless of who makes it. Go ahead. Give me some black. Just give me if I could, Levi, just give me an all black coffee if you don't mind. Mix it with this.
Like if I
may.
Let's say you're someone's second, right?
Huh?
Now order goes out, but you don't get the gun.
You're someone's second. The order gets out, but no one told you. By no one, I would assume that means the first. Go ahead.
And then, what's the job of the second?
Okay, so you're the second, but the camp leader did not tell you, but he told the brothers under you. He told the other brothers in the department. Okay, what you would do first is you would call him, and you would say, Salakia, sir, is this order true? I heard this, but you didn't tell me. Was there a reason for that? You ask him. Now you ask him in a way that's honorable. You say, Salakia, sir, was this order given? Because I noticed, sir, that you didn't give it to me. That the other brothers in the camp called. Let me tell you what that is. What you're talking about is a breach of the chain of command in the school. And the chain of command is rooted in courtesy and brotherhood. Let me tell you how it's supposed to work. There's a camp leader at the top. Every order flows through him to the second, to the third, to the lower ranks. That is the way it's supposed to be. Now, because of slackness, sometimes a camp leader will not follow that chain of command. Maybe he just so happened to be on the phone with that brother. Maybe he just was sitting in a car next to that brother. He just told him, even though this brother is not his second. That camp leader was slack. You understand? That's a slack thing to do. Why? Because it's lazy. It's lazy. Why have a brother be second in command if you're not going to flow through him with your orders? Why even have him in the position? Most times camp leaders do it because they're simply not thinking. They're just not considering, their second in command and what it does to him and how it belittles him for someone else to give orders who is not the second in command of the camp. I'll let the brothers come in and then I'll proceed. The chain of command in the UPK is rooted in brotherhood, in courtesy. Why? If you're at the top, then you tell it to your second. He then has what? The minute he hears an order from the camp leader, what does that second in command have? You're right, but in Trooper, he now has been given authority. You get my point? It encourages everyone down the line. If Jamaica had all the way up here. Jamaica, you ain't going back, huh? I hear you. Jamaica said enough of that, huh? Give Jamaica a hand. He's in headquarters tonight. All right. When you skip over the chain of command, you do a discourtesy to the brothers in the chain, because by skipping over the second, you have belittled him. It's belittling. You get my point? It's emasculating. And what does it do? It quenches the Holy Spirit in the second in command. So take the extra time to say, wait, I have an idea. I want something done. This brother, maybe I'm with him more. Maybe I see him more. Maybe I was talking to him for some other reason, but I'm not telling him. I'm going to hang up with him, and I'm going to call the second so that my second can be empowered. So now my second can get on the phone with the third and now be empowered to give him orders. And then the third can be empowered to give troopers orders. If you follow that chain, everyone in the chain is masculated. You understand? Everyone in the chain now is given authority. But if I skip over it, if I talk to this brother simply because he and I, live on the same block, and I skip over my second, then what have I done now? I belittled my second. And before you know it, my second will begin to feel what feelings? Simply because of human nature. He'll be discouraged. He'll wonder why I did that. Maybe I did it because I'm not satisfied in the performance of my second. He'll have to think of that. He'll have to wonder, why did I skip over him? He'll have to wonder, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm trying as hard as I can. I'm pushing and running as hard as I can, but he doesn't speak through me. He speaks through his other brother. Maybe I'm running too hard. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe, do you want all that doubt, Doc, to take over your operation? Why do that, Doc? That's wrong. It's dysfunctional. And military command, Doc, is so functional. It works so well because it comes from the Bible. That's where it comes from. It comes from the Most High speaking to Moses and Moses speaking to Aaron. And the Most High God saying, Aaron shall be to you instead of a mouth, and you too shall be to him instead of a God. That's a chain. So now the Most High is not talking to Aaron. You understand? He talks to Moses. Moses talks to Aaron. Now Moses gets to know that he speaks to the Lord thy God. Aaron gets to know that I speak to Moses. Moses speaks through me. Everyone is masculated. Everyone feels manly. Everyone is encouraged. But if you start playing all loose with the chain of command and skipping over brothers and giving orders to brothers who are not in the department, then of course you're the problem, and that camp leader, before you know it, should be brought to council. He'll be, first you go to him and ask him. If he says, well, I did that because I don't like how you operate. Because when I give you orders, you don't carry them out. He might tell you that. He might say the reason I skipped over you is because you're a terrible number two. You're awful. I gave you 3 orders last week. You didn't do anything about it. So I skipped over you to the third because I wanted to get it done. Because I also have zeal. And you're quenching my zeal because trying to drag you along as my second is hurting the department. Then if he tells that to you, then of course now you have the opportunity to drop out of that department because you don't have a gift in that area. Maybe you're better suited in another department, or you can kick in and do better. But you have to go to him and he has to tell you. Now, if he says there was no reason that they did it, he didn't do it for any reason, then of course you could say, sir, Salaki, but if you don't mind, when you skip over me in the chain of command, it emasculates me to the men that I have to lead. If you could please speak through me. If I'm not doing it right, just tell me and I'll do it better. But I would like to speak for you in this department. Tell him. You just tell him. If he does it again, take him to council. Go ahead.
A question on topic. A brother asked, so if you're the head of a department but lower in rank than your brothers, can that cause issues with the men above you?
Okay. Could it? Yes. Should it? No. It won't if you have good brothers in that department. It'll be nothing. It'll be just like, oh, he's second in command, no problem. Why? Because I'm second in command in this department. You got a brother, he's in 10 departments up. He's in 10 of them. He might not be the second. He might not be the second in this one. He's probably a department head in another one. So in this one, he's not. So he comes in and helps out where he can. It's less responsibility on him. And he doesn't mind because he's a department head over here in a whole different department. Why would he give a damn? He absolutely should not be treating the brother who is under him but over him in the department with any less respect or authority. With any respect is a bad term because respect doesn't mean that actually. He should not in any way think he has less authority because he's under you. He has operational command. He's supposed to obey you in this department. Why? Because you don't have to be in the department now. You can leave the department. It's not mandatory. No one forces anyone to be in any department. You gravitate and join the departments where your gifts lead you. You understand? So you don't have to be in it. You can just say, well, I'm gonna drop out of that department. I'm gonna devote myself to these other departments over here. If he's acting all I don't want to use that word. If he's acting proud, which is what we're really talking about, pride. If he's proud, then he's going to do terrible in every department. He's going to end up under my fist because he's proud. The only reason he's not there yet is because you are not. Right, which is the key to all of this, right? Here's the key to life and brotherhood: taking men to counsel. It's for some reason all my time in the truth, and before I was in the truth, when I came up in the truth, Commander General Yohana had Matthew 18 written out on a scroll behind us in class in Philadelphia. It was written down. I came up. He was from New York, of course. He was in New York here in headquarters. I was in Philadelphia at the time. And he had us hang it up behind us so we could every student could see it every day. And brothers still struggle to do it. It's a struggle to take a man to counsel. Why? Because counsel is functionally confrontational. And men do not want to be functionally confrontational. Men want to be dysfunctionally confrontational. If it was about getting in a fight at a traffic stop, everyone would do it. I was in this Uber ride yesterday. I rarely ever ride Uber. I got in an Uber yesterday and some Hamite was driving me. The minute I smelled that oil he wears, I knew it was going to be a long ride. Because I don't know what, it is not Captain Desariat's oil. I don't know what that oil is.
That's sweat, sir.
Hey.
I ride up and down.
And you know it well.
And it smelled like they're all over 116.
I thought it was some oil. Like, because they all smell like it. And I said, they like a whole different smell out than we like. Right. I'm in there, I'm in the car, I'm sitting down, right? And a bus, now he's of course ripping and racing through the streets of Harlem, right? Ripping and racing. And a bus stops in front of him. And he goes, effing bus, damn bus. And the bus stops and is letting people out. And I looked at him and I said, he's mad at that bus. Now, okay, buses have to stop us. Come on, you get my point, meaning the bus driver has to let people out. If the bus driver just drives and doesn't let anybody out, what's the point of being on the damn bus? But he was so angry at this bus, and I just looked at him and listened to him. It just made me understand someone who is selfish, and that in his mind, this entire road is just for him to get from one place to another. He has no courtesy for the other people on the road. So this bus has trespassed him. This bus has insulted him. Why? For stopping and letting people off while he's trying to go somewhere. There are people that are like that. They don't want to consider the other people on the road with them. And it makes them angry to have to consider other people who are going to the same place. Do you understand? That kind of person, he has to be brought to counsel. If you don't bring him to counsel, he will never know how selfish he is. He'll never know. He will not learn on his own. But guess what? You would have no problem with getting out your car and punching him in the face. No one has to get an order to do that. People do that on instinct. They jump out their car and they shoot the person who they're arguing with. They fight people in smoke shops. Like two brothers just got killed around the corner in Harlem, right? Right across the street from the camp. Why? Because someone is arguing with you. You have no problem with being dysfunctionally confrontational. You'll do that all the time. Forget about you and your wife. You'll fight in that house like two scallywag pieces of garbage. You don't have any problem with fighting your wife in your house. The minute one of you asks for a marriage counsel, it will be like a nuclear war. You avoid it like nuclear war. It always shocks me. Two people who fought, who they're fighting in the house, punching each other in the face. The cops come, and then someone suggests a marriage counsel. Oh, we don't need that. You don't need that. Damn, it seems like you might though, because you just got out of jail. You don't need. So you're fine with fighting, but you're afraid of a marriage counsel. But fighting each other is that you're comfortable with. You got no problem with that. Why? Because in a fight in your house, you can be free. You understand? It's dysfunctional. You can say what you want to say. You can yell over her. She can yell over you. You don't have to care about the children being there. It is such an environment of dysfunction that your demon is free to express itself. In a council, you can't use profanity. You can't speak over each other. An authority figure is there to see who you really are. No more of what you've been hiding from the UPK while you come around acting like, you're Israelite number one. We'll know who you are. We'll hear about who you actually are. That makes everyone very uncomfortable. They would much rather punch each other in the face. You understand? If you don't want to go to council, it's because you want dysfunctional confrontation. You want a fist fight, or most of them, they just want to really leave the truth. That's really their desire, to just leave the truth, because going to council would resolve it. But they don't want to resolve it. They want to be angry and upset with their brother so that they can then say, I was treated unfairly. That bus stopped right in front of me. That bus ain't right. I'm leaving the truth because of that bus. You get to blame the bus and never realize that you're an idiot for being angry at a bus for making stops. You get the point. Give me one precept. Was there anything else? Give me Psalms 133 and 1. What'd you want to say up? Ephraim, you had something else? That's the key to brotherhood, young men, officers, captains, counsel. Take him straight to counsel. You go to him once. Salakia, sir, this, that, and the other thing. Well, brother, I don't believe you're right. Salakia, sir, I'll hang up now. We'll handle this in council. Done. That's it. No talking, no arguing. You hang up the phone or you walk away from each other. You schedule the council. In the council, we will resolve it. One thing first, Ephraim. Now, here's the key. If you schedule the council, because you absolutely must, because of the orders of Christ, you are going to have to yield to the judgment of that council. Right. You might think you're right. What you think is irrelevant. The council decides who's right. If you buck it, if you go against it, you're on the path to being kicked out of the school. Now, you're such a big wig, maybe it doesn't matter to you. You might not need the UPK. You're a great man. You're wonderful and great, and I'm sure you'll have a church full of you in 1 minute. Then I'm going to help you go down that career path. Everybody understands? All right. Ephraim. Yes, both of you get microphones, right? He can read. Go ahead.
Psalms 131 and 1.
133.
Psalms 133 and 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
How good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is a holy and beautiful thing. It's everything. It's something that Commanding General Yohana has mastered, and our enemies fail at it every day. They cannot do it. You know what enemies do? They constantly fall out with each other. There is nothing more vagina than having a falling out with another man. Oh, it's so LGBT. Can you imagine having a falling out? I think about it sometimes. And when I've been through it in the past, like recently, someone came on the internet, some brother that used to be in the school, left the school, and he just makes a ton of internet posts. Who has seen that before? Raise your hand. Someone who left the truth, and then they on Facebook and on the internet. Y'all brothers ain't right. You ain't right. I can't stand y'all. Y'all treated me like this. What does that remind? Who else does that? Your ex is going to do that. Right. Your ex is going to go to social media when you break up. And whenever I see it, I go, I don't want to have a breakup with this nigga. I don't want to break up with him. It schemes me out. Like, what are we breaking up? Is that what this is? You gonna? I'm on that. He ain't nothing. He ain't treat me right. It wasn't no brotherhood. They told me I had to give them $5, and I went there. Are we breaking up? Is that what this is? What I do now?
No, I was gonna say, or they left me for dead. That's the one reason.
Yeah, they left me for dead. They were supposed to take care of me every day, give me a place to live, feed me, house me, take care of me, bring me to the Passover, bring me back, solve all my problems, and instead they left me for dead. I don't want to break up with you, Ak. I don't want to do that. It makes me feel nasty. Now, you like to break up with men. I don't break up with a man. Okay, having a falling out is LGBT. Let's not break up. If you want to leave the truth, just act like you left an organization and you just leave. Right? Say again? Put in your 2 weeks notice. I can go. That's all. I'm sure you'll find somewhere else that can give you a place to live, that can give you money, that can make sure your wife has sex with you. Don't complain about how I take care of you. If I have to house you and clothe you and feed you and get your wife to lay in the bed with you, right, then I don't want to hear complaints about my service. Right. If you don't like it, leave. But please, let's not have a breakup. I don't want to. So what am I supposed to do now? Do I go on social media? We didn't leave him for dead. We was the best thing he ever had. We was the best man that was ever in his life. We treated him better than every other group ever treated him. He'll never find anyone like us. I got to go in there and give my side of the breakup now. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. We're not having a breakup. No, we can't do it. This is not Maury Povich. When now we all got to have a breakup on social media. No, thank you. You know what? Just call my mom and tell her. Do that. Call my mom. Call my mom. Miss Agnes, he left me for dead. I'll call your mom. I'm going to call your mom. I'm going to talk to your mother. Here's how dumb this is. The brother's mother literally called me. Literally. You know I don't lie. Literally, I'm on the phone with his mom, getting his poetry books back from Indianapolis. I don't want to break up with men. I don't want to do that, Mom. Okay, if men don't like our food, our clothing, our shelter, our protection, then they don't have to be here, right? It's a free country. It's a free country. Soldiers died so you could leave the truth. Do you understand? You don't have to be here. You just tell the brother, and listen, Lord be with you. I'm sure you'll find someone else to do everything we did better than us. Better, I'm sure. I'm sure. As I said, if you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight. I'm sure we're gonna really be the ones crying in the end that you're not in our life, because we'll never find a trooper like you ever again. No one will ever love us the way you loved us. I have to move on. Everybody gets the point. Unity is everything. It's so important. But here's the key to unity. Unity has to be precious to you for you to attain it. It has to matter to you. So many people say they want unity, but they're not willing to treat it with the importance that it deserves. Unity is rare, special, and beautiful. And men, if you don't love it, love the actual entity, which is unity, the thing that unity is. If you don't love that, you'll never get it. Let me explain to you how important it is. Keep going.
Verse 2. It is like the precious ointment upon the head.
It is like the precious ointment upon the head, like this oil right here. As you know, in the UP, we anoint men's heads with oil when they're chosen by the Lord our God, just like Aaron was chosen by God to have his head anointed. That's why we do it. Keep going.
That ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard.
But not just any anointing, but Aaron's anointing. When the oil was poured on his head, and it ran from his head all the way down and soaked his beard. That's precious oil, Ark. That's a precious thing. Treat unity with your brothers like that. Something so rare. Treat it like a baby you have to take care of. You have to tend to it. You have to cultivate it and feed it so it could grow. That's what unity is. And men can't attain it because it's not important to them. It's not precious to them. It's not precious. But if it was precious, you know what you would do? You would watch how you speak to each other. You would say Salakia and Thawada. You would make sure to talk to your second in command before you give another brother an order. Why? Because this unity is precious, and I want to keep us together. I want to make sure that we don't turn on each other. I want to make sure that any demon that might try to tell you that I don't like you or I don't love you, I want to give you a response to tell that demon. So I'm going to tell this to you. I'm going to do this for you so that when the demon gets in your brain, you can remember what I did and what I said. So I'll always follow the chain of command because the chain of command gives authority to each man in the chain, thereby encouraging and masculating each man. That's how unity is cultivated and it grows. It's precious to me. It's important. It's as precious as the oil that anointed Aaron, high priest over Israel, that ran down to his beard and soaked his beard. Keep going.
That went down to the skirts of his garments.
It went down to his beard, soaked his beard, and ran down his garment and ran down to the edges of his garments. That is precious oil, man. It's everything. It's everything. How do you treat brotherhood? How precious is it to you? Or what is really precious to you? Your own pride? That's what's precious to you. Your ego. How much you get to eat. Let me tell you something that reveals a lack of brotherhood in any person. And you can always tell when this happens. If his example of a lack of brotherhood is what happened to him, then he is the one that has no brotherhood. Him. Do you understand? This is how you can always tell. There's no brotherhood in there. Why? Well, because when I told them to take me home and to give me a place to live, yeah, they let me live in there for about 6 months. But then after 6 months, they told me I had to get a job. What type of brotherhood is that? Oh, you weren't treated right. That's your barometer of brotherhood. How you are treated. That's it. So now you go from place to place, testing and tasting everyone's brotherhood until you get the brotherhood that is delicious to you. That's not the test of brotherhood. The test of brotherhood is how are you treating other people? That's brotherhood. If you're in a school where they're telling you how to treat people, you how to talk to people, you how to behave in your home, that place has brotherhood, because I can only measure brotherhood by how I treats other people, by what I do to other people. And this school makes you become a brother. Does everyone understand?
Oh, okay.
That's the test. Not, who didn't let me live with them for 10 years rent free, that's your gauge of brotherhood. That's your. Meanwhile, who in the hell have you ever housed? Who do you house? Who do you feed and take care of? No one at all. Anything else? Keep going.
Verse 3. As the dew of Hermon.
As the what?
As the dew of Hermon.
That's Mount Hermon. That's on the border of Israel. And we defended it with our blood because over that tall mountain range were the other nations, the heathens. The dew of Hermon was precious to us. We killed over it because we did not let the Syrians and the other nations cross that mountain line. in coming to the land of Israel, of the northern kingdom. Those brothers from the northern kingdom defended Mount Hermon with their life because it was the border between them and the other nations. The dew of the word dew is rain that, collects usually in the evening or in the early morning. It sits on the grass, and the grass is wet, even though it did not rain, because of the condensation in the air that gathers on grass or on rocks or whatever is outside, or on the hood of your car. All right. The dew on Mount Hermon was precious to us. We would not let a heathen touch that dew ever. We died over that mountain. Right. That's how precious brotherhood is. If men will go fight to defend a mountain range, you won't lose an argument for brotherhood. You won't lose one. Lose. That's the key to unity, brother. What are you willing to lose so you can have brotherhood? So I'm over you, you're over me. I'm in this department. I don't have to obey you because I'm over you, but I want unity. So how much mac and cheese do I need to make for you, brother? Just let me know. I'll lay down my rank in this department because I want unity in this department. So I'm here to help out. All right, how can I help? I know you're over me in this department. I'm just here to help out. You need me to make something? You need me to come down and teach a class for you? Or what in the hell do you need me to do? I will lay down my rank. Why? So the department can be unified, because unity is precious. It's everything. Problems occur when unity is not precious to someone involved. What's precious to them is pride, ego, a ton of very white things. Ego is that's for our oppressor. Ego, pride. Oh, he's proud. Our oppressor. Oh, he's proud. Proud like an eagle. He's proud, brother. Super proud, which is why he constantly kills all the time. America has been striving for unity for 400 years. And let me dispel one myth that blacks and Hispanics, blacks and Latinos have about white people, have about our oppressor. White people are not unified. How many years have I heard this and go, what in the hell are you talking? How come black people can't come together? White people always come together. Have you heard of World War I, World War II, the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, the Cold War? Constant threat of war every day of your life, forever. The new civil war that's coming. I was reading this conservative book today. I forget this cat's name. Paul Feinberg. He just released some new book. He's a Trump supporter, right? And he said, America is attacking the Catholics. It was an article. He said, America is attacking the Catholics. He said, there is no promise that God will let America go on forever. Every country thinks that they'll go on forever, but America will not go on forever. God will not be with America. I said, listen to him. He sounds like us. Why? He sounds like this Republican conservative out was saying God hated America. God was not going to stand with America, and that America was not promised to go on forever. Why? Because Donald Trump lost. And now that Donald Trump lost, they hate this country. They hate this place. Those same people that said we love the police, the blue, the wall of blue, they went down there and tried to squish the police into dust in the Capitol on January 6th. Those same people that love the police because really they love winning and getting things their way. If they lose, they'll kill the police. They'll squish them and hit them with fire extinguishers because they really do not love America. They love winning. Now, who are you? Do you really love the UPK, or do you love winning every council, winning every argument, always being right, having power and authority over people? What do you really love? Because if that's what you love, then you don't love the school, because loving the school will mean you lose. The school wins. That's what it will mean. That's how we cultivate unity and make it grow and feed it, because it's precious to us. That's where unity comes from. Losing. From people being willing to lose. They're willing to lose. They'll give up what they think. The council said I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Do I think I'm wrong? No. But what I think is irrelevant. The council said I was wrong, which means I am wrong. That's what it means. Because without that kind of thinking, we cannot be unified. That's it. We had a marriage council. The council said my husband was right. I think my husband is wrong. The council said my husband is right, which means my husband is right. That's it. Otherwise, my family cannot be unified. How many do you think your child will agree with every punishment you give him or her? Your child will think you're wrong. My parents are wrong. They're coming down on me. They're too hard on me. That's what your child will think. For the sake of the family, that child better obey, or else you can't have a family. Does everyone understand? We shall see. We'll see. We'll see whether or not we get some council scheduled, or if everything is perfect and no one is upset about anything. We'll see. Anything else, Asher?
Jamaica has a question. Florida has a question, and Milwaukee has a question, sir.
Let me get Florida.
Atizam.
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
1 second, Florida. Who's in the council tonight?
We got Atlanta.
Give Atlanta a hand.
You got Jamaica.
Give Jamaica a hand.
We have HQ.
Headquarters. Give headquarters a hand.
We have Florida.
Give Florida a hand.
Milwaukee.
Give Milwaukee a hand.
We got Mexico.
Give Mexico a hand.
And Chicago.
Give Chicago a hand. All right. You know what? In the name of brotherhood and unity, let's have a drink in here right now. Clap it up. Let's let it run all the way down to the skirts. If you have this strong in here, please. If not, it's okay. No big deal.
No, we have it, sir.
Okay, well, no sweat. Then I'll take a little
stuff.
taste.
I hide it.
Oh, if you don't mind, I appreciate that. I'll take a taste if it's okay. All right. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, Jamaica, please. You want to say something? Please, go ahead. You want to get Jamaica on camera? If we're able to.
Okay. My question is from Romans.
Security, we don't have a wand.
Yes, sir. Let's
use the wand. It's faster with brothers that you see every day. Y'all diligent on security. I give you that much. Y'all search a brother who you live with. You live with him. If he was going to kill you, he'd kill you tonight at the house. I would just go ahead and wind him up, let him on in. Give him a hand. Where's Brooklyn? Is Brooklyn? That's where you from? Give Brooklyn a hand up in here. Let me look at that. Go ahead.
Okay. Romans 8 and
ain't gonna be no school shootings in here. I know that much. Because you search the cat, live in the house with you. Live in the barracks. He's getting searched. Squeezed. All right. You the water Ephraim for being diligent on your job. Give Ephraim a hand. He's diligent. Go ahead.
Romans 8, verse 27 and 29. A general breakdown on those verses. And can it be used for can it be added to the reincarnation precept?
Okay, go ahead and read it. A precept for what again?
Reincarnation.
Reincarnation. Go ahead.
Romans 8, verse 27. And he that searcheth the heart knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of God.
No, that's not a reincarnation scripture. That's a scripture about praying. That's what that's about, praying. It's just telling you that the Most High, when you make your prayer, the Most High knows exactly what you need. Sometimes that thing will not be the exact thing you're praying for, but he knows exactly what you mean. You might not have the words to describe the thing that you want, but he knows what your spirit is asking for. And if you ask for it in the name of Christ, meaning if that thing you want is for the work of Christ, he'll absolutely give it to you. That's a praying precept.
Concept.
Go ahead.
Verse 29. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren.
That is a reincarnation precept right there. That's speaking about Adam.
Okay.
That's that Adam, he predestined, meaning chose before time, that Adam would come back as Christ. That's what you're reading right there. Correct.
Cancel.
All right, go ahead.
Sir.
No sweat. Next. Asher.
Sir.
Go ahead, Warrior.
Sir, this is Prison Officer Itazab 500.
Please go ahead, Itazab.
Sir. My question is, who did Noah's grandchildren breed with?
I'm sorry, Ash, I can't hear him well. Can we turn the volume up on him? He said, who what?
Who did Noah's grandchildren have children with?
Who did Noah's family made children with the other people in the family. So you got Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The children had sex with each other and made babies with each other because those were the only people on that part of the planet at that time. Now that, of course, is very strange today because now you have so many cousins. And that's not done anymore. But at that time, those were your cousins, right? And Israel was always ordered from Adam to make children with family members. Adam was told that. When was Adam told that, Itazab?
Sir, he was told that in the garden.
He was told that in the garden. Behold, now I have flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. For this cause shall a man leave his own family and cleave unto his wife. So meaning, let's say at Noah's time, you got Noah and you got 3 sons and their wives, right? And that's their family. Then those cousins did what? Made new families, which is what Adam demanded of all of his children. So the Israelites always had to make children with their cousins. Now, the nation grew. We thrived. Those, that beautiful gene pool that we all fed on and we grew when we were very small. We grew. We went into Egypt as 70 people, right? That's how we walked into Egypt. Jacob and 70 souls. So we grew. We grew and we grew. We were still very small, but we grew. Think about it. After Noah, we still were 8 people, right? Time went on, we're 70 people. We came out of Egypt 400 people or 600,000 footmen. I forget the number, but it was hundreds and thousands of people. So now to this day, we're still making children with our cousins, but it's just your, 10th and 20th cousin down the line because all Israelites are brothers. We're all sisters. We're all family. Do you understand, Itazab?
Sir, but all right, so my question.
Turn him up, I could taste.
Itazab, can you speak a little louder?
Sir, is this better?
That's better. This is the good stuff, Itazab. Go ahead.
Most High Christ. All right. So my question then would be, was that not unlawful?
Was it not unlawful? It was lawful. And that's what you're asking me. Are you asking me, was it lawful?
Yes.
Absolutely, it was lawful because that was the nation. If you had to marry a woman of your own people, who would you marry today? Itazab.
A cousin.
Today.
Or someone who's of your family.
You gotta speak up, Bob.
Like someone who's in your bloodline.
What do you say?
You got to speak louder into your mic, Bob.
Just be literal. Be literal. If you had to marry a woman of your people today, who could you marry?
A Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian.
I cannot hear him.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes. Right? Let's say you were back in Egypt. If you had to marry someone of your bloodline, who could you marry?
An Israelite.
An Israelite in Egypt. Let's say it was right before we went into Egypt. Who could you marry then?
An Israelite. Or a slack.
How many Israelites were there?
It's like, could you repeat
70.
the question? It's like I missed.
I can't hear him out. It's lawful.
You gotta speak louder into your mic.
Yes, it's lawful. It's 1,000 precepts. Give me one where it says thy near family men, thy near family member. It's what happened with Boaz. It's all over the Bible. He has the right unto thee, for he is thy near family member. You can give me that. It's a law in Israel that you have to marry someone in your family. The good news is the family has grown. So now every Latina is your family. Every so-called Negro woman, West Indian woman is your family. But there was a time when the nation was small. There was a time. Go ahead.
18:6.
Go ahead.
Leviticus 18:6. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I'm not sure if this is the one you want, sir.
Is that the one he's referring to? That's not this precept. That is talking about something that is unlawful, which is what? To be with your brother and sister. That's your near kin to him. Go ahead.
Leviticus 18:17. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter.
You get the point. Those are all more rules. For time's sake, you cannot be with your wife's mother. You cannot be with your incest, your brothers and sisters and all that. You can marry cousins. The nation has grown. Every Israelite woman is your cousin. Every last one. We're all connected. We're all 10th and 20th generations of cousins. But the nation was small at one time. And that's, of course, what they had to do. I'll give you another one. This is what you need, Benjamin. You need, for he is thy near kinsman. Levi.
It's the book of Ruth, chapter 3, verse 9, sir. I'll take it from verse 7. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of corn, and she came softly and uncovered his feet and laid her down. Verse 8, and it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid and turned himself, and behold, a woman laid at his feet.
Someone knows why he has that. Go to Laban. When Laban met Jacob and what he said when he saw Jacob.
Verse 9.
Go ahead.
And he said, who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thy handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thy handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman.
Thou art what?
A near kinsman.
Right. Now go skip down to the council when Boaz had a council with the other brothers in his family. Trooper, what do you have? Go ahead.
Genesis 29, Genesis 29, verse 12. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And verse 14, and Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh.
When he saw Laban, that is why he knew he could let his daughter marry Laban, because Laban was in his family. If Laban was not in his family, he could not have given his daughter to Laban. Can I give you 100 more? It's all over the place. Where did we get Chinese people and Japanese people from? Who knows? Benjamin and the other Benjamin. I'll take you, Benjamin, up front. Go ahead. Cancer. That was Lot's two daughters. When Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, it says it in the Bible. Lot's two daughters said, we will die childless, for there is no man left. They got their father drunk and had sex with him, thinking that there was no one else left of their family. They were wrong. If they could have calmed their hot tails down for a second, they could have went and found men to marry, and we wouldn't have moving on. They shouldn't have done that. All right, that was a mistake. But they knew that they had to be with someone in the family. But there were family members for them to be with. What am I bringing that to? You at your family reunion. Don't be like Lot's daughters. Don't go have sex with your family members at the family reunion. Don't do that. The way you look at your cousin at that family reunion, everybody notices it. They notice. They see how you're looking at that cousin. You think no one knows but you? They see how you look at your aunt. You're nasty, Ak. And you think no one knows. Hey, Aunt Agnes. Hey, how you doing? Aunt Agnes. Yeah, and some of you nasty aunts, you nasty too.
The aunt that goes, oh, you done got big. Oh, you growing now. Oh, man, I bet all the girls like you. That aunt is nasty out. You don't do that. Don't be like Lot's daughters and having sex with people who you don't need to have sex with. Wait, leave the family reunion. Every Israelite is your cousin. Go be with one of them. There was a time when the nation was very small. Okay, when they got off that ark, it was 8 people on there, brother. Shalom. That's that. And their grandfather said, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. Their grandfather said that they had to marry someone who was flesh of their flesh, bone of their bone. They had to marry a family member. Itazab, do you get it or not? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now, sir?
You gotta speak louder into your mic, because we turned the speakers up here. We still can't barely hear you.
Pass.
Maybe it's your mic. I gotta move on. Any other questions?
He said pass, sir. Milwaukee, sir.
Milwaukee, you're up.
Officer Debarmov.
You have the one about the council with Boaz. You ain't find that.
That's chapter 4, verse 9. So
you have who he went to?
With the elders, sir?
Yeah.
Khan. Ruth chapter 4, verse 9. And Boaz said unto the elders and unto all the people.
Not that. He went and met with brothers who had a right to her, who had the nearest right to her. They passed on her, and that's why he was able to take her. You'll find it. It's after he left, when she was wrapped up around his feet.
I believe that's it, sir. What you're saying, I believe is in verse 6. And the king's man said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar mine own inheritance.
Okay, just tell me who they were. You have that. When he says, I will go speak to blah, blah. When Boaz told her, I will go speak to these people. And if they don't want you, I'll take you. I'm paraphrasing it.
Verse 3. And he said unto the kingsman Naomi that it is come again out of the country of Moab.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm misunderstanding because of your accent, that Levite accent. Say that one more time. I thought he was saying kingsmen. I said, I don't know that precept. You mean kinsmen, correct? Kinsmen. That's the one I'm looking for. Read it one more time.
I'll take it to verse 1, sir. Ruth chapter 4, verse 1. Then went Boaz up to the gate and set him down there, and behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by.
The kinsman of who?
Of whom Boaz spake came by.
He had to go talk to the family, her family, his family. They had to pass because they were nearer kin to her than he was. So he had to go. If they had the right to her, he went to the family because her family could have married her before he could have. You understand? Which is what Jacob was telling Laban. Keep going.
Verse 2. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, sit ye down, and there sit down. Verse 3. And he said unto the kinsman Naomi that is come again out of the country of Moab, selleth a parcel of land which was our brother.
He brought the elders of the city to sit in judgment over the deal. He went to the kinsmen. They were Naomi's kinsmen. They could have had her because they were closer in relation than he was. They passed. He was able to get her. All right. That's the law that came from Adam. If you need it, you go to Adam when Adam married Eve, and that's where you'll find it. Next. Milwaukee.
Go ahead. Shalom, General. My question is in Exodus chapter 17.
Levi, if y'all could, I'll remember that accent next time. When I'm done with this Spanish, I'm moving on to that patois.
That Creole, sir.
Creole, Salakia. Creole. Go ahead. Creole. Go ahead. Remind me to do my Spanish tonight too, please. Practicar mi español. Go ahead. Recuérdame. It's a card. Recuérdame.
Sí, mi general.
Recuérdame.
Así es, mi general.
Recuérdame. Remind me. All right?
Sí, mi general.
Gracias. Go ahead.
Milwaukee.
Hey, Shalom, General. My question is in Exodus chapter 17, verse 8. When Israel went to battle with Amalek, and Moses had to raise his hands up.
When Israel went to battle with Amalek, go ahead.
Yes, sir. And Moses had to lift his arms up, and if he lifted his arms up, Israel prevailed. But once he lowered it, Israel was getting beaten.
Yes.
So like, was that like a test of Moses' faith? Did the Lord test Moses by having his arms lift up, or having them lowered or whatnot? Was that a test for Moses?
Okay, read the precept one more time. Where is it at?
Come on, sir. This is Exodus chapter 17, verse 12, sir. Verse 11.
Let me catch up. With. Also, Ephraim, then we have another question about unity among the northern tribes. Is that something we need to go over tonight? Ephraim, he needs a microphone. You said Deuteronomy?
Exodus, sir.
Exodus what?
Exodus chapter 17, verse 11.
Exodus 17 and 11. 1 second. Exodus 17 and 11. Okay, stand by. Yeah, I'll explain. This is not about the test of his faith. It's about the test of his ability to unify his people. This is about unity. This is about needing your brother. That's what this is about. This is right. What you just asked is right on topic for tonight. Brotherhood, unity, right? How precious it is. That's on that topic, Wisconsin, all right? And I'm going to get to it in 1 second. Go ahead in the back, Brooklyn.
Shalakia, sir, if I may. You know how in this world we are raised, right? And we are raised to say mommy and never call your mother by her first name.
I got
just
you.
mother.
I got
mommy,
you.
right?
I understand.
So now we got
see me with the chaser, please. The water for those good ice cubes too.
We got John 20, right? And it says Yahweh said unto her, woman, right? Why weepest thou? And then when you go to 16, it says Yahweh said unto her, Mary. Is Yahweh doing that to prove that it ain't about woman worship?
Read it one more time.
The first one is 15. Yahweh said unto her, woman, why weepest thou? Right?
Right, I understand.
And then on 16, he says, Yahweh said unto her, Mary. So
Mary, her name Mary.
Her name Mary. Is Yahweh doing this to prove that it's not about women worship? Or?
No. Read the rest of it. I'll explain. Of course, women worship is wrong, of course.
Right.
But that's not the point here.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yahweh said unto her, Mary. She turned herself and said unto him, Rabboni, which is to say master.
Here we go. Now we're getting to the point. Keep going.
Yahweh 17. Yahweh said unto her, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended.
I'm sorry. This is not his mother Mary.
This is
Mary Magdalene. That's why he's calling her Mary, because that's not his mother. Just like in the Bible, there's many women had this name Mary or Miriam. Miriam is Mary in Hebrew. That particular Mary is Mary Magdalene, who was the woman who tended to his body when he was dead. I appreciate that. For those 3 days, all right?
The water.
Go ahead. Next.
Chicago has a question.
1 second, from Chicago. You're up.
Shalom. Can you hear me, sir?
I hear you fine.
Sir. So, I have a question in Tobit chapter 12.
Go ahead.
So, if I can get a general breakdown of verse 9 and 10. There's the book of Tobit, chapter 12, verse 9. For alms doth deliver from death, and shall purge away all sin.
Let's look up what the term alms mean. Alexa, what are alms?
A house is a single-unit residential building.
Alexa, stop.
They arrange the complexity
Alexa, stop. Tell her to stop.
Alexa, stop.
She might not be able to.
Alexa,
pronunciation. Go ahead.
what are alms?
A coat of arms is a heraldic visual design.
Let Brooklyn answer.
Alexa, stop.
Microphone. Go ahead.
I'll get a few, ALMS, right?
Salakia, in historical context, money or food given to poor people.
That's what alms are, Rock. Money or food you give to people who don't have it. Charity, kindness to poor people. Poor people don't have money or food. That's why they're poor. Come on. Absolutely. The food drive you brothers do in the UPK, give the food drives a hand, and the brothers can carry it out. That's alms to the poor. All right. You get that, Chicago?
Sir.
Does that answer your question, or you need more?
So that was the basis around the question, sir. The water.
Solid. Next question. Ephraim in the back.
Sir, the I don't want to sound like a tribalist, sir, but the Spanish tribe known as the
Spanish speaking tribe.
Right, sir. The water.
Go ahead.
It's like we hate each other.
Of course.
We fight each other. Right. Now hearing the truth, right, it's the opposite. Right. But let's say brothers are in different states and different countries, and they're Spanish speaking, and we're campaigning for Latin America, but you don't see them.
Meaning they don't work with you, even though you're on the same mission, which is to raise up the so-called Spanish-speaking tribes and bring more of them into the truth. Just like Levi does it with Haiti, or any other brother does it with anybody, right? Go ahead.
And they outrank you, right?
Go ahead.
And just
meaning so. Let me, Yashikar, are you there?
General.
Do you understand what Ephraim is saying?
I do.
Break it down for me, please.
Sir. The way I see it, out of one, most of our gente, most of our people, we have that self-hatred, out of one. If I could, every vato wants to be el más chingón, the baddest vato on the block.
I know
they want to be
Mas chingón. He taught me that before. Mas chingón. Go ahead.
Everybody wants to be the toughest vato on the block, the best drug dealer, the best player, the best everything. We've been competing with each other since the beginning, since the downfall of Israel, sir. And I believe it's because they have that self-hatred. Sometimes we still linger on that, on pleasing our oppressors. And back then, we were trying to be the best to please our oppressors. The people who gave us Christianity, Catholicism. So we always wanted to be the best. And that's how I see it. I don't want them. Like, to me, I don't want, before I got into truth, sir, and shout out to Captain LeBon in Detroit, because I used to take brotherhood as an act of aggression. Like, why would somebody take me in their house and clothe me and feed me and show me brotherhood? I never even thought it existed. Every time something like that would happen, or when I would show somebody some sort of brotherhood like that, I expected something in return. I'd be like, no, you got to do a hit for me, Holmes. You got to do this. You got to do that. There's no freebies here. And that's how I see it, out of one. I never knew brotherhood until I got here. And some of us are still stuck in that world, sir, where helping a brother seems to make them feel lower than them. Especially higher rankings, Salakia, General.
No, please give him a hand. Ephraim is I believe he's describing why he thinks it's happening, but do you also have the same sentiment?
Oh, because you constantly hear, well, orders go down, not up. So
and you're wondering if maybe it's because of there might be from a different tribe or a different area. I got you. Okay, and that's similar to what he's saying about being the Mas Chingon, right? Okay, well, this is. I'll try to break this down. And the topic of this is unity among the so-called Northern Kingdom. I'm saying so-called Northern Kingdom because even that is dangerous. The term Southern Kingdom and Northern Kingdom, that was never a topic. Not a topic. That was never something in the school that we called each other. I notice because of the internet, brothers do that now. But before the internet, we would never say he's a Northern Kingdom brother. He's a Southern Kingdom brother. That is not one West. Because if I'm a Northern Kingdom brother and you're a Southern Kingdom brother, then we are divided. And under Christ, we remove the division of North and South. We remove the division of Jeroboam and Rehoboam. We remove the division of constant civil war. What we would always say is the Northern Kingdom was Israel, who is what you would call today so-called Latinos and Native American Indians. And the Southern Kingdom is what you would call today so-called Negroes, Haitians, and Jamaicans. But it is not who we are right now.
Right.
I'm not a member of the Southern Kingdom. That is not who I am. And you are not a member of the Northern Kingdom because our kingdom is one now, with one king to rule over all of us. Now, when you see divisions among the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, the Venezuelans, that is because of two things, Ak. The first thing is history. Too much history, Ak. There is just so much history of hatred and division among the so-called Latino tribes. And that history has to be erased. You cannot embrace it. Another problem, and this is wrapped up into the second issue, is pride. Biblically, the Northern Kingdom is always denoted to be proud, which is what he means by Mas Chingon. Right. Put pride in your Bible concordance and Samaria, Ephraim, Northern Kingdom, and you see how many times that comes up in your concordance. The Northern Kingdom, their historical problem was pride. They were proud. They were given a rich, bountiful land of Samaria, which was just more fertile. That's what was called the Fertile Crescent. I mean, is that the Fertile Crescent? I think it is the Fertile Crescent, right? The Fertile Crescent. I mean, it was just rich land. And of course, they believed that it meant that they were better than the other Israelites. They were the best. And at the same time, they began to sin like crazy, worshiping other gods with great zeal and believing they were better than each other and better than the other nation. The house of Ephraim, the house of Issachar, the house of Gad are famously biblically proud. And that pride makes you hate each other. You want to hear about real murder? Go look up the wars between the 7 nations of the North American Indians, brother, and how they slaughtered each other. And our oppressor would give them guns. Our oppressor would pick a side, give that side guns, and then at night go behind and give the other side guns. So they would wipe each other out. So much so that when our oppressor came, they couldn't fight our oppressor because they had fought each other for so long. They had fought each other. All 7 nations of the North American Indians. There's famous letters written by cavalry generals about how much they hate each other and how they can't stop them from shooting each other and they can't stop them from killing each other. And so we need to take over to police them because if not, they'll all kill each other. That's in famous writings of cavalry soldiers about the tribe of Gad and how much they hated each other, how much the Apaches hated the Cheyenne and the Navajo hated the Mohawk. They couldn't stand each other and killed each other like crazy and then finally killed each other with the white man's guns. Everybody understands. Now, when it comes to let me give you another problem with Issachar. Issachar hates each other. Brother, Issacharites hate each other if they're from Northern California. The Northern California, am I right, Yashakar? Am I right or wrong?
You're absolutely correct, General. Issachar has a hatred amongst each other where they can't even help each other out. I seen Issachar help a white. I don't know if we're allowed to say white man. I seen Issachar help a gringo more than they help another Issachar.
History, Yashikar, history. I mean, the brothers from Northern California, they call them farmers. What's the name for farmer?
Granjeros, other one.
No, it's another word that they call brothers from Northern California.
Norteños.
Picas?
Oh, paisas, other one. Paisas.
Paisas. And norteños.
If I could.
Go ahead, brother.
Salaki, I don't want. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
please, go ahead.
Paisas, those are the brothers that just barely cross from Mexico to the United States. So those are the jobs that they can get without having to have documentation or anything. They work in the field, sir. And that's what our oppressors have done to us, that they divided us. That now we feel like, Mexicans from here and Mexicans in Mexico, they don't even think they're the same people.
No.
Just because of these goddamn gringos, putting that border and making each other think they're better than the rest. Mexicanos here in United States, they can't get along with our raza that crosses over from the bridge. They just can't. They divide themselves. Salakia, go ahead, sir.
Give him a hand, because that's a fact. And forget about it. If you're a Mexican from the Texas border, as opposed to California, they can't stand each other. They hate each other, right? So that happens with every tribe. Now, forget it. Now I'll go to the Puerto Ricans. Who do the Puerto Ricans hate in New York like crazy? Ephraim. The Dominicans. How did I forget? Give them a hand. Yashikar, you don't know up here in New York. Dominicans, I know you didn't know Yashikar, but up here in headquarters in New York, Simeon, the tribe of Simeon, the Dominicans hate the Puerto Ricans, and the Puerto Ricans hate them. They stay in segregated neighborhoods away from each other. They fight and shoot each other over drugs, brother, since, my God. How long has that been going on, Brooklyn? Simeon against Ephraim, the 70s? They fight wars in New York, brother, since the 70s. Too much history, too many murders, too many lost cousins, and they in drug territory and crime. They go into the prisons and wipe each other out in Rikers Island. They go into Rikers Island and they wipe each other out. The Dominicans against the Puerto Ricans in the back. Brooklyn.
Salakia, sure. And it's crazy because the tribe of Simeon, one of their hatreds for the tribe of Ephraim is because they say they speak Ebonics, Spanish.
Yes, correct. They hate how the Ephraimites speak Spanish. Go ahead, up front.
I just want to say real quick, sir. If you talk to a Simeonite brother and you accidentally say, "You Puerto Rican, right?" He might cut you in your face.
Yeah, he might slash your face for calling him Puerto Rican, right? What Issachar is saying is true. Why is it true? One, because of pride. Pride. Someone find me a proud scripture to hold that one. What's the other reason? Not too much history. What's the other reason? Like Yashikar said, our oppressor makes us kill each other for a grain of rice, for a morsel of bread. And we have a history of fighting each other because we're starving. And we consider each other competition to survive. We're competition to each other. And our enemy, the gringos, foster that kind of hatred among us because they want us to kill each other over bread. They want us to fight each other in prison because of the few resources we have there. Fight each other in the ghettos and the barrios over the few resources we have. Asher.
And it's crazy because Puerto Rico is like one of the furthest islands from Florida. You got Cuba, then Haiti, then DR, then Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
But they give Puerto Ricans, they make them citizens.
Yeah.
And everyone else, they gotta apply, go to jump.
And then the other tribes think that, that makes them somehow more gringos than everyone else. And meanwhile, a Puerto Rican gets no benefit from being a citizen at all. He gets no benefit to him in any way. Benjamin. 1 second. Benjamin, go ahead.
Job 40 and 11.
Mm-hmm.
Or Job 40 and 12.
Everyone go to Job 40 and 12.
Look on everyone that is proud and bring him low. and tread down the wicked in their place.
Is this a Northern Kingdom scripture? You give me that. Brooklyn, that's a good one for pride. But give me the one specifically about the pride of Ephraim, the pride of Samaria. Sir. Who's speaking?
Brooklyn, sir.
Brooklyn, go ahead.
Isaiah 28. Woe to the crown of pride.
This is a good one.
To the drunkards.
What verse are you in?
Verse 28, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Woe to the crown of pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim.
Woe to the crown of pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim. They had a rich land, they were wealthy, and they were drunkards because they had so much. Keep going.
Whose glorious beauty is a fading flower.
Yeah, that beauty that they had was fading away. It was about to go. Keep going.
Which are on the head of the fat valleys of them that are overcome with wine. 2, behold, the Most High have a mighty strong one. Which
I don't have time. Read that all the way down. It's just one that will speak about the pride of the so-called Northern Kingdom, about how proud they are. And that pride, our oppressor uses that pride to get them to compete with each other. And they compete. All of the 7 nations of the tribe of Gad, the so-called North American Indian 7 nations, they killed each other over scraps from America. And they fought each other over, hunting grounds and all kinds of garbage. They would fight each other over, kill each other over. The Mexicans constantly kill each other to this day because one is from Northern California and the other one is from the Southern California. Or one of them just came over here yesterday and this one has been over here today. The Simeonites kill each other, kill the Ephraimites. And you can find this in every so-called Northern Kingdom tribe, every so-called Latino tribe. Our oppressor sees it. They divide them. Let me give you another thing that divides you that you better be careful with. Those flags. You better be careful with those flags on. Those flags, you get a sense of pride from those flags, don't you? That feeling you get? Like, yeah, this is the Mexican flag. This is the Puerto Rican flag. This is the Dominican flag. Well, it's not his flag. That flag divides you from the tribe of Simeon. That flag divides you from your other brothers because they don't have the same flag. So as you're waving your flag, who isn't waving it with you? Because he's not from there. And you have to be careful with your pride. Don't have so much goddamn Puerto Rican Day pride that you turn Simeon against you and you make him hate you. Why? Because you have to cultivate brotherhood. Let me tell you what you'll have to do. You'll have to have a little less pride in being from Puerto Rico so that the Simeonites can have pride in being your brother. You'll have to have less pride in the Mexican flag so that the Puerto Ricans can know that you're their brother. You have to lose. You're going to have to say, I'm a proud Mexican. I'm a proud Simeonite. The Aztecs. The Aztecs slaughtered their neighbors. Who were their neighbors? Gringos? Oh, no. No, they were Latinos, so-called Latinos. They're brothers who they slaughtered. 3 tribes next to them who they wiped out and oppressed, the Aztec Empire. They killed their brothers and slaughtered them. And you better go research what the Roman Catholic Church said. What do you think the Roman Catholic Church used to claim you were so uncivilized? Your wars with each other. Go do your goddamn research. These are all the letters that went back to Queen Isabella. Oh, they kill each other. They slaughter each other. They fight constantly. We need to civilize them. We need to teach them to be civil. They sent those letters back to Spain, brother, and she sent armadas to come and get you to stop fighting each other. That's what happened, and that's historical fact. Asher.
I would say also that they eat each other.
Oh, they eat each other. They would capture people from neighboring tribes, all of their many fights and wars that they would have with each other constantly, carve each other up, chop each other up. They wrote those things down and sent them to the queen, and she saw you needed to be civilized. And what do I mean by that? She used it as an excuse to come and kind of colonize your country. Propaganda. That's all it was. It was propaganda because there is no one more uncivilized than a gringo. Right. No one. But if you give them enough propaganda to use against you, the world will think they're helping you when they invade your country. America is about to invade Mexico. Please believe that. That is coming. That is about to happen. America is about to invade Mexico. And when it happens, people are going to cheer for them. People are going to say, thank God. Get rid of these cartels. Get rid of these gangs. Thank you. Come and bring civilization to Juarez. Come bring civilization to Sinaloa. Everyone, because of the news, because of how much you kill each other, people are going to praise the U.S. forces that kick in every door and kill your sons. You need unity. How do you get it? By lowering your pride of self. Have a little less pride in the fact that you didn't come over here on a boat. You didn't have to go over the river. My family came over here on a plane. I've heard that before, Yashikar. I've heard my family came over here on a plane. They didn't have to swim over here. The nigga was proud of it, like it made it better, like it made him better than the Mexicans that had to come across the Rio Grande. He thought he was better than them because he came over here on a plane. He has his paperwork, and he looked down on brothers whose fathers fought the tide to have a better life for their family. Listen, whatever thing you're so proud of about being a Mexican, you better come down off of it so you can unite with the Dominicans, so you can unite with the Puerto Ricans, so you can then not unite with the people from Sinaloa. Who does Sinaloa hate, Yachikar, in Mexico?
So like I said, they're all hating each other. I don't want. It's the same thing as it was in the Aztec times, like you said, sir. They were killing Mexicans, killing Mexicans. It's going on right now, sir. Every cartel is slaughtering each other. I don't want.
The people from Tijuana are going to have to be less proud of being from Tijuana so that they can unify with the people from Sinaloa, because the American army is coming to that land. And they're not going to give a damn where you're from. They're not going to care, Rock. The American army came to stop the fighting that North American Indian was doing. And they killed them all, regardless of whether they were Mohawk or Cheyenne or Sioux. They killed them all. That's what's coming to Mexico. It's coming. You're going to have to be less proud of your block, of your barrio. Is it barrio or barrio?
It's barrio, I don't want. Barrio.
Barrio, of your barrio. Be a little less proud of where you're from. Be less proud of your flag. Be less proud of your hood, so that everyone can share in what unifies us all, not what divides us all. Does everyone understand?
And if I could, sir.
Go ahead, Yashika, I'll get you next. Go ahead.
But you had brought it up in the previous class, sir, that it's not even La Raza that's the president of Mexico. It's them heathens. Right now we got a Spaniard president that's running the show. So it's not even our real people. We got Spaniards over there, like America got gringos over there. So it's like you had said, sir, there's really, they're not La Raza. Not all of Mexico is the people of the Lord.
And when the next president, and what do you think he's going to do when the president of America asked him to invite the soldiers in? What do you think that gringo is going to do? He's going to go ahead, brother.
But that's he's already proclaiming war on them, sir. They said if America puts boots on ground in Mexican soil, it's going to be considered an act of aggression, and that they will no longer be dealing with America with their oil. It's all over the Mexican news, sir, and they're just waiting. Even the cartels are the one. They already sending messages that if the gringos step foot in their land, that even the cartels will join with the Marines, with the Mexican army to fight against the gringos.
I got you. Well, let me tell you what's going to happen. Let me give you a history lesson. There'll be a new president who totally supports it. What's going to happen in Mexico is what happens in history. It always happens. It cannot be avoided, because the more that the news says that Mexico is violent, it will gather more public support for American intervention. And if they don't have support now, then what's going to happen now? If there is not a support for America to invade Mexico now, what is the obvious thing that's going to happen to create that support? Yashikar?
Sir. I wouldn't know how to want.
Right now, there's not enough support in Mexico for America to send troops in to quell the violence, to bring peace to Mexico. Well, what would change the minds of the Mexican people? Just think.
Them publishing more violence on how we killed each other like they did with the Queen.
Give him a hand. That's all. You know what that means? So if you don't want America to invade Mexico, you would have to love your brother to stop it. Because the more violence that comes on the news, that's on the internet. I saw this week they kidnapped those 2 Judites. They're on the news this week talking about how dangerous and how terrible it was. That is to get the support from the black community to invade Mexico. Now the fentanyl. Where's all this week Joe Biden declared fentanyl. I mean, he declared war against fentanyl or some crazy garbage like that. And then, of course, says that all the fentanyl is coming over the southern border, right? If America wants to invade Mexico, the more violence in Mexico that comes on the news, it's going to change the minds of the government in Mexico. I'm sitting here in Harlem. I know what I'm talking about. I remember Harlem. I remember back in the day, me and Commander General Yohana, we was in front of Zadok's house down there on 115th and Lenox, right? This is 20 years ago, right? This is before the gentrification. And we're outside on the front step, and somebody just came down the block shooting at some guy. And that's when I saw the power of Commander General Yohana. Brother, the door was locked. Commander General Yohana grabbed the bottom of the door, ripped the door off. Now listen to me carefully. He is not going to like that I said this tonight.
That's a metal door, sir.
I'm moving on. Okay. Anyway, he pushed me inside. Okay, in this metal locked door. Ripped it off. He went like that, and ripped it off and pushed me in the door. I'm moving on. Your point is, this was a terrible, terrible place before Starbucks came here.
Right.
And now it's getting worse, right? It's getting terrible again. Take a guess about what's about to happen. I went down, matter of fact, tell Captain Tazariak this. I rode down 125th Street today up. Every business is for rent and for lease and for sale up there. Get down there and get those numbers out because it's hot in here. We need a new building, a bigger building, and there are buildings up and down 125th Street, all the way to Adam Clayton Powell. All of them are open, and please believe they're going to be filled in a second. So let's get in while there's a chance. Brooklyn.
Salakia, sir, it's so deep that you're saying that because like 2 days ago, dude just got shot in the head.
Yeah,
where we do camp at.
Yeah, Asher was telling me out. And the violence in Harlem is on TV every day. Every day. And that's for a reason. So once again, Yashikar, if we kill each other, it gives the heathens license to civilize us, to bring peace to our neighborhoods. So if you don't want America coming in, you better start loving each other, right? I think that's your only hope. You better start loving each other. Go ahead.
No, Kami General, you're right, sir. That's why Mexico, that's why the ISUPK is very important in Mexico, I don't want, because this is the only place that teaches us who we really are and how to love each other according to the Bible, sir.
No, give him a hand. That's a fact. Because it is a very old weapon of our enemy to highlight our internal disputes, to say that we need his help. We need his police. We need his government because we can't stop hurting one another. That's an old weapon of the gringos, and they still use it today. They still use it today. Trooper.
Salaki, I was just going to say they just announced this week the mayor is bringing back that robot dog and some other things that.
Yeah, put it up on the screen. Let's do it now. Let me show you what's coming to Sinaloa. And listen, I know brothers down there think they're very tough. They all think they're mas chingons down there in Mexico. I hear you, brother. I know they're very tough down there, very strong. I hear you. But let me show you what's coming. Let me show you what's in Harlem tonight. I'll show you.
Well, it looked like something out of a movie in Times Square today. Officials unveiled the newest development in police technology, including a Robocop and the return of the NYPD's controversial robotic dog. The question now is, how will all of this technology be used by the department? Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson has the details.
I've never seen something like that in real life.
It's back.
DigiDog is out of the pound.
Its name is Spot and might just show up in your neighborhood this summer. The NYPD purchased a pair of the remote-controlled robotic dogs using forfeiture money. Price tag, $750,000.
They're not going to be used for patrol. This is a life-saving device. It's going to be used for hostage situations, bomb threats, counterterrorism situations.
We first met DigiDog under the previous administration back in December of 2020, but its time with the department was short-lived. After hitting pause, Mayor Adams tells me this technology is now needed to move the NYPD forward.
I am going to use technology with transparency to keep this city safe. And others just weren't willing to do that, and I am.
I am ready for my close-up. Meet K5, a fully autonomous robot with cameras, an emergency help button, and ability to transmit real-time data. And finally, this system for vehicle pursuits. Officers can deploy GPS tags that will attach to cars, a way to avoid dangerous high-speed chases. The mayor insists this is just the beginning in a series of rollouts. The city, quote,
that's just the beginning. Listen, I understand Mexico. You're going to fight the U.S. government. Lord be with you. But I'm from Harlem, and that's in Manhattan right there, that thing. And you can imagine what they'll bring to some village in Mexico. If I was you, I would love my brothers. I would love them. I wouldn't allow my oppressor to use your internal division to make him a savior when he comes to your country, because that is what happened to the tribe of Judah. That's what happened to the tribe of Gad. That's what happened to the Benjamites. They became saviors to stopping us from hurting each other. And our leaders welcomed them with open arms. You understand, Yashikar?
mi general. Understood, sir.
All right. Everybody gets that. I think I broke down everything about that. Questions? Did I have something else?
FREAKNIK. The FREAKNIK.
The FREAKNIK. You young brothers, close your ears up now. Listen, please. The FREAKNIK. Now, what happened with the FREAKNIK this week?
I'll tell you.
Explain, please. He closed his ears. He's a good boy. He closed his ears. He did. You can open your ears now. You can hear again. I see you train them right. I was like, go ahead.
I first would like to start with a video, sir.
Please.
There we go. 1 second.
Y'all, I don't know. We might be in trouble. Did y'all see Hulu is about to release a documentary about 94 FREAKNIK? Yes. 1994 FREAKNIK. Yes, they are about to release a documentary. So I'm just now I've been to several FREAKNIKs. 94 was one that I attended. So I'm just praying that Jesus be a fence. I'm praying that Jesus just be a big, tall privacy fence. That's my prayer. This Easter, this Good Friday. That's my prayer. So, I will say this, though. Like, when they would bring out those video cameras and start recording, I immediately removed myself from the that situation. I never, ever was okay with being recorded out there. So, hopefully that worked to my benefit. But, you never know. You never know. So, the only thing I got is, if you see your girl in the documentary, hey man, at least I'm fully clothed. At least all my clothes is on. That's all I got. That's the best I got. But yeah, y'all, They about to put our big.
I wish, brother, this is the time I wish I had some of those old VHS tapes, because we did a TV show back in 90, I don't know when it was, 97, 90, 97, 96, where we went out to the Freaknik and filmed and asked people questions about, and we asked them what their religion was while they were what you would call today twerking naked. And we went with the microphone and said, we asked you a question, and we said, what's your religion? Every church twerker out there said they were Christian. Every last one. Let me explain to you what the Freaknik is. The Freaknik was some festival. It was a Greek festival for Black Greek fraternities. And it's been going on for a long time. It ended, I want to say 2000 something, back when people started to have those camera phones. But I went to them in the world, of course, and I went to them in the truth. The one I went to in the truth when we filmed, I remember at the end sitting down feeling disgusting. It was a feeling. We had video cameras out there. We had the old school video cameras. And I remember sitting down on a step going, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. It's hard to understand the Freaknik now, but imagine a strip club outside in public, and it's just in the middle of the street. And they are naked. You get my point? Naked, completely naked. And I remember being in the truth going, this is disgusting. It was so vile, it made me sick to be there. And we would just ask all of them, and this is what this woman is not telling you. She was Christian back then too. You understand? She acts like she's Christian now. Let Jesus cover me, hide me. Bitch, you were Christian then. You were Christian back in 94. You went to church in 94. Would you just start going to church? You just found your church. You just gave your life over to Jesus? You've been going to church with your grandmother since you were 5. Not only were you going to church, you were in college, educated, and you were a whore. And here's what she's not telling you. She's a whore right now. Right now at 45. She's still single right now. That's a single woman. Can't y'all all tell? Some of you older brothers, you know she's single. She doesn't have a man right now. She's a hoe right now. What's the lesson of Freaknik? That is who real Christians are, which is the point when we went out there and filmed, we were trying to just show everyone what a Christian really looks like. A naked woman on top of a Hummer, on top of a Humvee. That is a Christian. She got down. We said, can we speak to you? She'd be all sweaty and breasts out. And she'd, of course, think we were going to ask her about her body or say something sexual to her. And we say, what religion are you? Huh? What religion are you? I'm a Christian. Well, what does your religion say about what you're doing here today? I don't know, but God knows my heart. They ran that down the whole day up. Every twerker out there, every naked woman Christian out there said, God knows my heart. God knows me, every last one. Boy, I wish we could find this video. Someone has this video. Everybody, come on.
I have something.
Please go ahead.
At one time.
During Freaknik, we encounter females who are, to me, I don't like to say inappropriately dressed, but when you dress a certain way and you're dancing in front of the guys and you're in front of the camera and you're taking pictures, it brings on fun things. We all have feelings and we all are affectionate people. We are human beings. And we're going to get these feelings and these emotions are going to get to flying high.
Yo, girls out here, they just letting us grab, title. Yo, this is heaven, son. This is heaven. This is heaven. Don't touch it, cause see a cut. See a cut, Daniel. Don't touch it. I'm gonna cut them. They keep on touching me. If they touch them,
I'm saying you should come out here like that if you don't expect brothers to do the things that they do, son. You know what I'm saying, right? I know my girl wouldn't be out here like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a young lady.
That's very tame video. I mean, if you've been there before, it's a ridiculously disgusting thing. I mean, I can tell you some stories about that day out. It was one story. The girl was on a motorcycle. She's on a motorcycle in the back of the motorcycle, which was very popular back then, right? And she did something where a man came and touched her breast, right? And it was like spiritual in that the brother went over there and squeezed her breast. And she made some indication like she liked it. Like she either pulled her shirt down so he can get more of it, or she smiled. And when she gave that indication, it was like 30 men went and ripped her clothes off of her. Every stitch of clothing was gone off of her. And we're sitting there filming. We're looking like, what in the hell? What should we do? And so we went and interviewed her as soon as it was over. We went over there, got in the middle of it, interviewed her. We said, well, sis, what happened just now? Why'd you do that? I think one of the brothers gave her something. We had a towel or an extra UPK shirt, and he put the shirt on the girl. He gave her his shirt. She smiled through the whole thing. I was laughing through the whole thing. Like it was so much attention. See, a lot of you whores that need attention on Facebook today, a long time ago, you had to go to the FREAKNIK to get attention. You had to go out there to get men's attention. Now, of course, you have Facebook and Instagram for you to get men's attention. Back then, that's how you got it back then, and you were still Christians. Another one where the girl was on top of a truck dancing. She did the same thing. Some man touched her. She acted like she liked it. Brother, all of a sudden, every hand around her gave her a full exam. Gave her a pap smear right there on top of that goddamn Jeep. It was ridiculous. We interviewed her too. She's been a Christian her entire life. Her mother brought her up in the church. She sang on the choir. Right. That's the those are Christians. Those are the people that go to church. Christians are immoral. They don't have morals, which is the problem with the religious belief. It's a show that you go to every week to dance, but Christians have zero morals. Everyone understands. All right. Anything else, Asher? Any questions?
I have some questions online that we haven't gotten to, sir.
Oh, shit. Let me know when we done here with Cross the Line and all that. Throughout it. Go ahead.
Come on, sir. The first question I had saved.
They need me to. I'll do Cross the Line tonight. I'll stay and do the whole thing and get it on. Some nut called me today as I was trying to get up here and take a 10-minute sleep. Some idiot James called me. That's a fake name. James is some cat that calls me every 6 months with a different name. And he calls me every 6 months. He gives me a different name every 6 months. And he always starts it off like, I support you guys and I really like you. And I just wanted to ask you a question about who God loves. I start to berate him constantly about his obvious homosexuality, his obvious LGBT leanings. I berate him about it. He calls back another 6 months. I told him to call in to Cross the Line tonight. But he might not, but maybe he will. All right. James, keep going.
So this question is from Officer Iwabad.
Mm-hmm.
They would like to know if he can have any precepts on drinking wine, if it's lawful or not, or strong drink, because of the conversation he had with people in the world.
I don't know if it's lawful or not.
Ooh, if he can have some precepts.
That's from the island of Islay, Scotland.
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
Salaki, I don't want this. Officer Yashika. I had a question, sir. I had a question, mi general. In reference to what Officer Yawasab Ya'ala was saying, sir. I believe that brothers that have that gift on speaking in Spanish should actually start. How can I say it out of one? Should be part of the teaching out of one. I don't know if I'm out of line on that one, sir, but I did have it one. Go ahead, Adam.
What do you mean? Explain a little more about what you're trying to say.
Sir, in the beginning of ISUPK Mexico, sir, I did have some brothers that we would do classes, and they would make classes in Spanish and all that. And one thing led to another when all of a sudden I had no brothers anymore doing classes, but these brothers, they would really bring it out in Spanish out of one. I'm just saying out of one in the unity that we speak of in in Mexico and in every Hispanic tribe, sir. I believe that if we have that gift of tongue, sir, to reach out to those people in Sinaloa, to reach out to those people in Juarez, in Jalisco, to all them cartels, I believe if a brother has that gift to speak, that he should participate, I'm not sure if I'm out of line by saying that, sir.
No, you're not. But now, why aren't they participating?
Salaki, sir, ISUPK is no cowards and no excuses, sir. And there's certain things that, brothers, for one reason or another, sir, at one point, nobody told me anything. They just stopped doing class. And so I couldn't, back then I was just a 50, sir, and still most of these officers outrank me. So they're not even under me, sir. They belong in other zones. So there was really not much I could question or do about it, other than just, try to keep raising men in Mexico and try to bring out brothers that could speak Spanish.
I totally, let me give you a precept. I completely understand your point. I'm going to give you a precept and then I'll explain. I completely understand what you're talking about. Hold on one second. Give me Romans 4:21, Yashikar.
I'm not on concert. 1 second, sir.
Okay, so did anything happen? You said they were speaking in Spanish and then they stopped. You don't know why they stopped. You just know that they stopped.
Well, sir, if I could, I'd want, a lot of them, that once they found out that I was camp leader of Mexico and not camp leader of Mexicans, it kind of changed the whole thing.
Camp leader of Mexicans? What does that mean?
Right, sir. I guess some of them were under the impression that I would be officer over them because I was camp leader of Mexico. So like you said, Romans chapter 4, verse...
Romans 4:21. But let me just try to understand. Benjamin, you want to say something?
You're saying Mexicans were not in Mexico.
Okay, they thought you were camp leader over Mexicans not in Mexico?
It comes, sir. In a way, that's how it kind of made it seem.
Now you you hear how that sounds? Okay, do you know where? Okay,
right. So, and if I could, I believe that was one of the main reasons why most of them would help me at first. But once it got out that like they didn't have to.
Well, of course. Well, if I could, Yashikar, you're hypothesizing why they didn't do it. You don't know why exactly. All you know is that they stopped. Correct?
I mean, sir.
Okay.
There was a few situations like that out of one, and
really,
and once that came out, then it was everything changed, sir. I believe I took a counsel with you once out of one. You told me ISUPK Mexico is for Mexicans in Mexico. ISUPK California is for Mexicans in California. ISUPK Detroit for every other tribe, not just Mexicans, sir.
I got you. I remember you asked me that question. I remember saying, what in the hell? Who could think that someone is in charge of all Mexicans?
Right, sir, right.
Who do we have in here in charge of all West Indians? Who do we have in here in charge of all the tribe of Judah? Do you know if someone thought that, where does that come from? After tonight, you should obviously know where it comes from. So there was someone that thought, oh, Yashikar is in charge of Mexicans in America. Why would anyone think that? There's an obvious reason. I taught about it for 45 minutes.
Right, sir.
What's the obvious reason that they thought Yashikar is in charge of Mexicans in America and someone else is in charge of Mexicans in Mexico? What is the obvious reason that they thought that that was two different things? I'm almost giving you the answer. Pride. Exactly. Why? Because they think there's a difference between Mexicans who are in America and Mexicans in Mexico. They think that the Mexicans in America are divided from the Mexicans in Mexico. What in the hell is that? There is no person over a tribe in the UPK. No other. Where is the Simeonite, captain? In the UPK, we divide schools according to cities, not tribes, because to do so is to divide the tribes. It creates a division. We separate ourselves by cities so that men can travel to those cities and bring the good word of God out of Jerusalem into every one of those cities, so that wherever you are, there's someone spreading the gospel in your city. But to say that the Mexicans in America are different than the Mexicans in Mexico is the very division we're trying to stop. We're trying to bring together the Mexicans in America and the Mexicans in Mexico. We're trying to unify them with the tribe of Judah, with the tribe of Benjamin, with the tribe of Simeon. We're trying to end the divisions up. Yashikar, that came from that Now, once again, do not tell me who we're talking about. I don't want to know who we're talking about. I'm using this as a teaching tool so that men can understand it openly and be afraid to do it again. That's it. I don't want to know who this is, because I'm sure no one offended you, Yashikar, because if you were offended, you would have brought it to council. Am I correct?
Right, I don't want.
There was no council. So I know by that, no one was offended. Everyone loved it. Everyone was happy about it because there was no council about it. So now I'll just use it as a teaching tool. Don't bring your personal divisions that you had in the world into this school, because I'll remove you out of this school. If you have something against Mexicans in America, or you have something against Mexicans in Mexico, don't bring that in here, because we'll remove you so that all of La Raza can come together. Right. We'll remove you. We'll get rid of you. We separate according to cities because you live there. Simple enough to understand, right? You live here, Philadelphia lives there. We send brothers here, send brothers to Philadelphia who teach you all the same thing. They unify you even though you're in different cities. But we separate by cities because that's where you live. You get my point? It's not a permanent state. What's that Spanish concept when you use a estoy and estar? When there's a permanent situation that you are, and then there's a situation that's temporary that can change. Is that estoy, estar, Yashikar?
Salaki, sir, I wouldn't know that one, sir.
Okay, like if I say I am a Mexican, and then I say I am a New Yorker, one of them is permanent. Or a Mexican might not be permanent. Do they consider that permanent? One of them is a permanent thing. The other one is temporary because I could move from New York. No one knows what I think it's estar, estoy.
I think you're talking about ser and estar.
Ser and, come on, Asher.
Okay, ser and estar. Right, sir.
Give Asher a hand.
And con, sir. No sound place.
I forget Asher speaks Spanish.
No, don't say that.
You don't know that. You're good enough. but you're right. It's ser and estar. Ser is the permanent one, right, Yashikar?
Con, not one con.
Ser is like a permanent thing, things that do not change. Right. And estar is something that can change, like I am happy. I could be sad tomorrow, so I would say estoy, right?
Right, sir. Estoy.
Estoy, right? Feliz. Estoy feliz, right? Right. But if I say I am something that doesn't change, I am,
soy Mexicano.
I am soy Mexicano. I use the ser conjunction because that does not change. Everybody gets that? Well, me being from Philadelphia or New York, that is ser. I mean, it's estoy. It changes. You could move to another camp. You could move from this city to another city, but you will stay the tribe you are forever. You don't want to divide people based on tribes, because once you do that, it's permanent. because you can never become a Benjamite. You can never become a Puerto Rican. You don't want to do that. That's dangerous because I can't join you in your tribe. I can't become one of you, but I can move to Acuna. I could move to Texas. I could move to Philadelphia. That's not permanent. In the UPK, we separate according to city, something that's not permanent, something that any tribe could be. Any tribe could be from New York. Any tribe could be from Texas, from California, any tribe. But do not divide yourselves based on tribes. And don't be so stupid to divide yourselves based on the tribe in America as opposed to the tribe in Mexico. That's just you wanting to hate other Mexicans. That's all. You just want a reason to hate other Mexicans. That comes from pride. That's all. That's pride. And the proud get brought down. If you're proud in this school, you are getting brought low. You have to have a council so that that proud person can be brought down, can be crushed into powder and made an example of. You understand, Yashikar?
Sí, mi general.
You understand, Ephraim. Now, to your question, and to Ephraim's question, you said brothers were teaching Spanish. You believe, or they said, I don't know which one, that when they found out that you were in charge of ISUPK Mexico, meaning the country, not the people, the country, because you're the one that went to do it. And for those of you that don't know it, let me explain to you why Yashikar was put in charge of ISUPK Mexico, because he wanted it.
Right.
He stepped up and did it. He stepped up and went there. For you camp leaders, if you want to be in charge of a place, you don't get it because you're so brilliant. What do you think you get it for? Because you're so smart? Because your skills are so wonderful. We're giving you this city. Who cares what your skills are if you don't go to the city? Yashikar went. He went and traveled on that goddamn truck and went to Mexico and went all the time. His camp leader called and said, I got this young brother down here that's going to Mexico, teaching in Mexico, giving out flyers in Mexico. He got Mexico the same way Tazariak got New York, the same way Tawar got Philly, the same way Yatazak got Houston. Yatazak is from some other damn city. He's not even from Houston. He's from, where's he from? Oh, Austin. He's from Austin. But he got in his goddamn car and went to Houston. Went out there and met brothers and gave out flyers. That's how Yashikar got Mexico, because he went. How do you think Paul got those cities in the Bible? He went. He traveled to those cities. That's how Yashikar got ISUPK Mexico. Everybody understands. Why didn't you get it? Because you didn't go. Done. Simple enough to understand. You were just brilliant from your house. There's a lot of people brilliant from their homes, and I'm happy for you to be brilliant from your home. But Yashikar went to Mexico. Akim, I don't want y'all to test me on this. If you're divided in here over some stupidity, like who lives in Mexico and who lives in Texas, I'm going to give you much pain in your spirit. Much pain. You're going to be in the council. I'm going to ask you questions that you cannot answer. You're going to be embarrassed and made sad. You might even find out that you're not as brilliant as you think you are. Don't divide yourself based on stupidity and pride. Everybody understands. So these brothers dropped out of they stopped teaching in Spanish. I don't know. They gave up Spanish. Let me tell you, brother, good. Don't ever force a man to do the work of the Lord that he doesn't want to do. Why in the hell do we need someone to teach in Spanish who doesn't want to? You know who we need? You know who we need to teach in Spanish? The brothers that want to teach in Spanish. No one else. No one. You work according to your gift. If you don't want to teach in Spanish, who in the hell cares? Teach in English. Teach in whatever way you want to teach. Give me, if they do it for pride, let them do it. If they do it for glory, let them do it. Don't care about a brother who stopped working in the work of the Lord. Don't get your mind fixed on who is not doing the work, because then you will forget the brothers who are doing it. And what I believe is happening is that some brothers who speak Spanish might be solely focused on who is not doing it with you. Do you understand, Ephraim? Get them off of your mind. What are you thinking about them for? They're not doing it with you. Erase them from your mind. They're not involved. What are you going to do? Sit and worry or cry about some brother who is not in your department? How is that helpful to the department? Do you know what focus is, Ephraim? You know what focus is, right? Let me give you a special UPK focus. It's focus to the discarding of everything else. That's One West focus. If I'm sitting in a Spanish speaking department, and then all I'm thinking about is, boy, I wish that other brother would come speak Spanish. Well, I wish he would come talk with me. What, are you missing? He's done. I wouldn't let him back in the department if he wanted to come. Matter of fact, no one else is getting to speak Spanish but you two. Done? Would that cleanse your mind? Let that free you. If somebody wants to speak Spanish who was in that department, they can't. They were in it, they didn't like it. We have 1 million departments in here, and we greatly honor them for their service in other departments. But in this department, who's working in this department now that I don't even know about and don't even understand? Who's in this department, Yashikar?
We got the brothers from headquarters. Y'all what's up? We got a
y'all what's up? Give y'all what's up a hand. And what exactly? And what exactly is this again? What are we talking about?
About teaching in Spanish, out of one IGPK classes in Spanish, and now we got Dominicans. Now we got Honduras. We got Puerto Rico. We got Mexico out in one class, and now. You know, we're working it out, me and Officer John. What's up, y'all?
You think I might understand your problem you're having? I'm going to try to wrap it up fast as I can, Ephraim, all right? Kataza in the back, all right? Okay, I think I might understand your problem. So you're saying that there's a department with every brother who teaches Spanish? Is that what you're saying? No?
We do.
Hold on. Let me get Ephraim in the back. Go ahead.
So we have under the ISUPK banner, we have ISUPK Latin America. All right, so we lean on the Brotherhood. All right, big ups to Captain 13,000 Captain Ashapari. All right, he's over Latin America. That's his department. I'm in second, sir, and we got 3 years of fruit. Since
ISUPK Latin America. Okay, now I heard about this week, but I have no memory of that being a department in the school. Is that a department in the school?
That is who he's over. We have.
Does that sound familiar? I've never heard of that.
I think that it hasn't been brought into the major council, but they've been operating it and growing it.
They've been operating it and growing it, even though it's not an official department in the school.
Concept, because I think that it's a collective of zones. So it's like it's Mexico, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and I think that there's only one brother in every zone. But collectively, since they're the Spanish speakers, I believe they were coming together and doing the classes collectively because of the language barrier.
Okay, that's problematic. It's problematic. Ephraim, go ahead.
If I may, it's actually been productive.
I hear you.
You know, we have.
Is it an official department in the school?
I've never heard it in the major council.
I got you. Okay, let me tell you what you don't want to do. Don't wing it, because in winging it, you skip over the chain of command. You just asked the whole question about being skipped over.
Okay.
Why would you skip over the major council, the creative department that the major council didn't approve? You emasculate the major council. Brotherhood has to be tended to.
Okay.
Has to be cared for. There is no such thing as ISUPK Latin America. That doesn't exist. I don't even know what in the hell that is. I've never heard of it before until yesterday. ISUPK Latin America. I don't know what that is. It's divided from me. I don't know anything about it. No one gives a report in the major council about ISUPK Latin America. So you got a department that you don't even answer for. No one is held accountable for, which makes it different than the other departments. It's separating you based on your language. You don't want to do that. Hold your point. That's tribal. You understand? That's tribal to do that. It's tribal. What if all the West Indian tribes all came together and said, oh, we're all West Indian, so we're ISUPK Caribbean, and we're in charge of it. We do it like this. This is how we do it. I'm not Caribbean, and I'm not even involved in it because you don't even report on it. So which means no one outside of ISUPK Latino answers for it. Now, unless there's someone that gave you permission. If so, that's fine. But all departments have to be approved in the major council so that it can be a department, or else it's not a department. It's something that brothers who speak the same language all came together and they're doing it on their own. And guess what they're doing in that department? Fighting each other, leaving each other, arguing with each other. Am I missing something? I'm just judging this based on these random questions from tonight. Am I missing something, Ephraim?
Kaiser, we
Please.
also have brothers that don't speak Spanish, right? In the class.
In the department?
Con.
So what do they do in ISUPK Latin America? They don't speak Spanish.
They learn Spanish.
They learn Spanish and then speak Spanish. I got you. That's great. This is what you want to do. If you want a department, you bring it up in major council, you request it. You say, we would like to have ISUPK Latino, or whatever you're calling it. And then now it would get mulled over, discussed, and someone would have to stand up in a council and answer for it. Just like, read my mind, come on, Asher.
Council.
Every other department. What you want to do, Ak, is unify. You don't want to divide. Do what everyone else does. Don't do a different thing. Don't invent the truth. It's been around since 1969. We pretty much got this thing pretty down pat, pretty good. We know how it should work because we've done it so many times. And this always happens. I've only heard about this because of the obvious problems that come when you're doing it on your own. You want to bring it into the council. Someone has to stand up and say, we would like to have ISUPK Southern, whatever, ISUPK blah, blah, blah. We would like to do it. Someone would say, would be on record on who's in charge and who's the second. And then once a month, they would have to answer for their progress. They would have to give a response, give an account of themselves. If you don't do that, it's different than the rest of us. And that is the danger when it comes to tribes. The danger is in doing something that separates you from the other tribes. Don't do that. Raise your hand if you in ISUPK English. There's none of that, Asher. Ephraim.
Oh, God.
We don't have raise your hand, ISUPK North America. Why in the hell do y'all have that then? We don't have that. Why would you be waving some flag around about Mexico and Puerto Rico? I don't wave an American flag. Right?
Okay.
Right? Things like that divide us. And you do not want to divide us. We work too hard to end the division so that we're not shooting each other, so that we're not killing each other, so that we're not stealing drug corners from each other. It's hard. It's precious to us, our unity, and you want to take special care of it. You do what everyone else does. Here's what is approved right now in the school. ISUPK Mexico, that's a camp. ISUPK Puerto Rico, that's a camp. ISUPK, is there another one? Haiti. ISUPK Jamaica. ISUPK, there's no ISUPK Caribbean. I'm assuming you haven't gotten together with the Simeonites and the Jamaicans and made your own club. Right. No one else does that. Don't you do it. I'm not saying you, but I'm speaking in general. You understand, Ephraim? Do what everyone else does. That's it, because then we are one. Then we're together. That's the key. That's the problem I'm hearing tonight. You're doing things that we don't do, and it's not going to work. You're going to, a divided thing keeps dividing. That's why these fake Israelites groups, they constantly morph into other groups because they started from a break off group and they're going to break off again and again and again and again. If you divide yourself from the other camps, the other departments, you will get divided again based on who's from California and who's from Texas, who's a Mexican in America and who's a Mexican in Mexico. You'll just keep doing it because that's how the thing was born. Yashikar, do you understand?
Sí, mi general.
Do what everyone else does. As of now, there is no such thing as ISUPK Latino. That doesn't exist until someone requests it and Commanding General Yohana approves. Then it will exist. Unless he denies it, then it won't exist. Just like every other department. Do both of you understand?
Oh, God.
Let me go over this one more time. Give me Psalms 133 and 1 and 30. Is that 133 and 1? And then that's my last thing. Psalms. Oh yeah. Now hold that for later. There's precepts backing up what I just told you. I just don't have time to give it to you. Also, for the brother that asked, is it okay to drink wine and strong drink? I'm assuming that you see that I'm drinking right now, which is supposed to be evidence to you that drinking is lawful. It's supposed to be evidence to you. Because, of course, in the UPK, I wouldn't be allowed to do it if it was wrong. Everybody understands. Okay. I, of course, will give you a myriad of precepts proving that your reverend who molests children but never drinks, he drinks too. He also drinks. He's an alcoholic. I'll prove to you that I'm of course, correct about having a drink. Just give me a second to get through this. Ask me another night, all right? When I have more time. Also, it was something else. One more thing. Oh, man, it's right there. It was about asking that question. I can't recall. Go ahead, I'll read it.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 133 and verse 1. Mm-hmm. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
This is what you have to have out. You got to love unity. You got to love it. When I say love it, I'm not talking about the emotion of love, like you love some slut you meet online. I'm talking about love like you cultivate it, work on it, sacrifice for it. Unity. You have to work on it. You can't wing it. You can't just come up with things and just do it. You can't go with your feelings. You cannot do that, which is why if a brother doesn't want to be in the department, let him go. Because if you keep someone in a department that doesn't want to be in it, what will happen? Come on. Anyone? You want to answer the question? Okay, come on. Anyone? They don't want to be in the department. They don't want to do this anymore. They're mad or vaginified about something. They don't want to do it. So they stop doing it. What are you going to call them every day and say, come on, get back in the department. We really need you. We need you to speak Spanish. Go find more people that speak Spanish. Go teach some other tribe Spanish. You want it, so you make it happen. But why sit and wonder and miss somebody from a department and long for the days when he was speaking Spanish? If you drag him back in the department, what will happen when he comes back, Ephraim?
Nothing.
Well, he doesn't want to be there. So what type of servant will he be?
Slugger.
Thank you. You want him to join you? You want to pester him and complain until he comes back? So he can come back in there and vex you every day? Have you ever worked at a job when you didn't want to be there? What type of employee were you? They couldn't wait to get rid of your ass. You was hoping to get fired. Right. You tried to do things to get fired to collect the unemployment.
Right.
You want that in the ISUPK? We all love Spanish. Is that what you want? You want malcontents? People being forced to speak Spanish in a class? They don't have it. They don't want to do it. If you want unity, let them go. Let them go do the thing they love. They don't like this. Who knows why? Who cares why? That's up to them why. That's between them and the Most High why they don't want to be in this department. Who cares? You want men who want to be in the department, who love it. If they're not in the truth now, go find them. Go out there and find them. They're out there right now selling drugs or committing murder somewhere. Go find them. Go bring them into this school. They're going to love to teach classes in Spanish. If they're not here now, go find them. Everybody understands. But don't force somebody who is clearly trying to tell you he does not want to do it. Listen to him when he's showing you that. Believe him. Read the precept. Go ahead. Whoever had it, who's holding it? Come on, go ahead.
This is verse 2. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard.
Unity is a holy thing, man. It's holy and beautiful. It's like the oil that chose Aaron to be high priest. It was what signified to the people that he was high priest. The oil that was on his head, keep going.
That went down to the skirts of his garment.
It went down all the way down his garment from his head, soaked his beard down to his garments. That's what unity is. It's precious and rare and holy. Treat it like that. It's something you have to work on. You're in a department. Some people don't want to be in it. Instead of sitting on the phone and talking about them at night saying, man, he don't want to be in the department anymore. He don't like to do it anymore. Maybe it's because he don't like my rank, or he's jealous of me, or he don't like that I'm over the department. Instead of doing that, let him go. Don't hypothesize about why he doesn't want to do it. He has his own reasons. The Bible says that he is God's servant, not yours. And what he does for God. What he doesn't do, that's between him and his judge. If he's leaving the department simply because he didn't get a promotion that he wanted, let him go. You want him in the department? Somebody that would relinquish his responsibilities because he didn't get a promotion? You want him around? I would not. I would be happy that he stopped making classes because he is selfish and proud and power hungry. And if you keep him around, he will erode unity. You'll be surprised if he just leaves. For whatever reason he's leaving for, the people left are unified. They're together. They agree. Keep going.
Verse 3, as the dew of Hermon.
Now, once again, that's a holy mountain that the so-called Northern Kingdom considered a holy place, that they would not let heathens violate that ground. They love that place. You have to love unity the same way. Keep going.
And as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion.
As the dew that descends upon the mountains of Zion, our holy mountain. That's unity, Ak. Treat it like it. Chip away people because they hurt unity. Get rid of them. They're hurting the unity of this camp, of this department. You move them. The Lord be with you, brother. Go work in something else. There's a camp in your city. Maybe that brother, even though he speaks Spanish, maybe he would just rather work in his city. Maybe he wants to do something else. Pray that the Most High God blesses him in his other endeavors. But this endeavor is just not something he should be part of because he doesn't want to be. Put every man. You want to see the camp work well? Combine a brother's gift with the right position. Oh, that's now you're working. But when you have a brother in a position where he does not have a gift, you're going to have problems. When you have a brother who has the gift, who has a gift, but he's not working at that gift, then he'll feel unfulfilled and unsatisfied with the work because he's not able to exercise his gifts. You want to combine the two, gift with job, gift with position. You put those two together, oh, that department is going to run up. That's going to run. It seems like in whatever this thing is you're telling me about, these people left because they didn't have the gift to be in it. thank them for their service, be happy for them in whatever they're doing in the work of the Lord. You find people like you are that feel the same as you do in that department, that have your gift, your zeal for it. And I've noticed that you and Yashakar, Ephraim here in New York and Yashakar out there in Texas, you brothers have a zeal for this. Find brothers like you. Don't mourn the brothers who don't have the gift. You understand?
Oh, okay.
With that, pass the class over to the priest. Who's taking it? Ephraim. You got it.
Men of Israel gonna give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amajim. Amajim Shabbat. Amajim. Barak. Yajmata. Saw turn to the sisters. Sisters Amajim. Amajim Shabbat. Amajim. Barak. Yahweh Yajmata. Dismiss.